Start it up, Jack. Cue violins.
You're listening to PlayStation Power. I'm George, and with me is Greg.
Hello, everybody.
And we also have TJ Del Reno.
Oh, good evening.
And we have Gerry Rosenthal.
Hey, what's going on? Who's Greg?
Greg's my co-host.
There's another guy here?
Yeah.
That's the problem. Five
I'm
of
gonna
us.
say shit. Guys,
And we have SWEGTA. This is terrible.
Greetings.
Oh,
man,
my
you said it was a
God.
terrible intro, but you didn't mention that you had
You
a
made
co-host.
it amazing, dude.
Guys, I'm at bar 866 of this track, and Greg has yet to say peep. So what's up, Greg?
How's it going?
Is he
I'm
not-
glad to be here. This is definitely going to be an interesting podcast.
Oh,
Greg?
yeah.
Greg, is that you?
Oh, my word, it's Greg. Greg's here?
Oh shit, man!
The
that's
Greg?
funny. Okay. All right. Sorry, Greg.
Yes, I'm from Providence,
Sorry,
Rhode
Greg.
Island, which is the region of the country where optionally this game takes place at.
Oh,
Does it?
It's
really?
It's supposed to be New England, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
Really supposed to be New
Yeah.
England?
New England has history like a boarding school similar to this.
No shit.
I didn't know that.
Oh, no way.
Holy shit, Greg's dropping bombs here.
Greg,
Wow.
where you been, man?
Yeah,
You're-
Greg, where were you
you're
the
sitting
whole
here-
beginning?
We're talking about Tom's River Little League Championships, and you're like,
Yeah.
you're sitting
I
on
was
these
too big to laugh my
gems,
ass
man.
off.
All right,
Oh Jesus!
so for anyone who doesn't know, Gerry is the voice actor for Jimmy of this game that we're covering, Bully, because I didn't bring it up yet.
Correct.
And TJ also voiced Ricky, a greaser. And SWEGTA is a guy who likes Bully, apparently.
Yeah, I don't voice anything. I just enjoy what they voice.
He's a he's a fan, and I gotta
You're
say,
an
he's a
important
huge.
community member.
He is, man. He's like the whole community. Hats off to you,
He's
Swag.
the whole. No. I think SWEGTA and I are the whole community.
Well, I just met you yesterday, and I've known Swag since he was 14. So
Oh God.
when I got one of those awkward MySpace messages you were talking about, TJ.
Yes.
Actually, in
man.
this
Yeah,
case,
those are
it was Facebook, but yeah, that's how we met. He looked me up. How old were you, Swag? How old were you, Swag, when that happened?
I think I was like 14 or 15. I remember, like, initially what I did was I emailed you on your website.
I had a website then.
I think you did. I think you still do.
Well, I definitely do now, but I can't remember. How old are you now?
Now I'm 21.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
you're
it
the
was probably
youngest
7
here.
years ago.
Yeah.
because I remember it was right when I moved to Jersey City in 2010. I remember.
Yes.
I remember where I was when I got your email.
I must have been like
Aw.
15 or 16 at that point.
The fateful day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Faithful day.
I remember getting a Facebook message from you. Maybe I got an email. I don't know, but it was very well written, and I was like, "This guy isn't just the normal. Hey, are you Jimmy Hopkins? You spelled letter U. Jimmy spelled wrong.
How do you spell Jimmy wrong? With like,
Oh,
do you
trust
spell
me.
Jimmy with like a G or like
Trust
what?
me, like a I don't know. Maybe I was making that up, but you
Jimmy
get the
with
point.
an E? Like,
there's lots of pronunciation. I'm sorry. What's the word?
Mispronunciation?
Not mispronunciation. Misspellings
Misspelling?
and
Yeah.
no punctuation. I
I
should
like
say.
it, grammatical errors.
let's
Correct.
let's
And-
be honest here though. The people in like Nordic countries, eventually they're going to take over the world because they speak English better than we do.
They.
Oh, yeah.
Swag is to point of fact. Yeah, Swag is a great example of that. And it was super well written. I was like, you know what? I get so many messages that just like from like bozos that I was like, yeah, all right, man, I'm gonna entertain this kid. And then look, we've it was the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
You grew,
I know,
you
look how
grew
far.
together.
I know.
Yeah,
Dude,
look how
he's-
far we've come by.
He's been a huge help with these live streams. I
Who's we?
literally couldn't do it without you. So thanks, Swag.
Aw.
Sweet. Well, it's been fun doing them.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
good, Swag. Now you have to help me now, because I need help.
You need a capture card and a computer.
Yeah, could you mail me a capture card and a computer and an Apple
I can
Raspberry
mail
Pi?
you a capture card not a computer.
Ooh.
I actually,
Swag is,
I actually have capture cards laying around that I don't use anymore.
Damn.
Oh, dude, if I knew what those were, I'd
Exactly.
want
Dude, you wanna
Exactly.
capture your footage for games? That's how you do it.
Dude, I know Swag's talking to, other people in the bullet community. He's like, yeah, Jerry's cool, man, but he doesn't know shit about computers, man. he doesn't know shit. I mean, I'm just lost. I'm like, dude,
Hey Jerry,
what is
remember
this?
that time you did the voiceover and yeah, this is my New York accent apparently I'm using. And Jimmy did the thing where he did the
You sound like
skateboard
Patrick
and
from
the
SpongeBob. What the fuck?
Wumbo.
Oh, man.
So
I'm sorry. George, you were saying.
Oh, bully.
I think we're still in the intro.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Have we
So,
made it past the intro?
We're gonna segue from the intro to the information here.
The outro?
Oh,
to
the outro. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
The
All
intro
right, sorry,
to
George.
the outro. Yes, so Bully was released on the PlayStation 2 North America 17th of October 2006. EU 25th of October 2006, and Australia saw it the 27th of October 2006. It was also re-released on the PlayStation 4 through the PS2 on PS4 service March 22nd, 2016, 10 years after. The Scholarship Edition on Wii and Xbox 360, North America saw it March 4th, 2008. PAL regions saw it March 7th, 2008. And the Windows release worldwide was released October 21st, 2008. The Anniversary Edition for Android and iOS released worldwide December 8th, 2016. And
I had no idea there's
what's
so many
really
versions of this game
interesting-
out there.
oh
That
my
is
god.
more information that I've ever received about Bully, ever.
How well could this game like
Yeah.
10 phones though? Like, I'm very skeptical.
It plays well. I own it.
Really?
It plays well. There's two different ways. There's the touchscreen interface, which actually they did work on. They actually made it work with the game. Because I played touchscreen controls and I also played with a controller. And honestly, I mean, I prefer the controller, but playing with the touchscreen controls is great. It's not one of those things where like all the fucking button prompts are everywhere. It's just like it's all contextual. So
They don't like for all these versions. Like I remember when the Wii version came out, they had me come back in and actually do some of the motion capture, and there were like 3 additional scenes. But
wait,
like
they had you do motion capture?
Yeah, that was fucking awesome, man.
Really?
Yeah, there's a picture on my if you go on Facebook, Gerry Rosenthal Music, go to photos. There's a picture of me, with all in the suit with all the balls.
Right.
But anyway,
awesome.
they had like, yeah, because I didn't do the original motion capture. Did you do the motion capture for your character, TJ?
Now, when I did it, I don't know what they did, but I know when I came in, they had in the booth, it was me and the director was sitting across from me in the booth, and they had a camera on my face, and I was like, oh, this is weird. I never did a voiceover where what's the camera facing me for? And he's like, oh, they'll do it for like facial animations, but I didn't wear a suit, I didn't have the balls, I didn't have any of that stuff. But I thought
You didn't have the balls?
camera face. I had no balls. I was ballless. I was ballless. I got no balls.
Do they make because I did 3 additional scenes for the Wii version, the Scholarship Edition, I think it was. But so all these other versions, are they just the same game? Like if you beat it once, you can basically beat it on your phone now. It's just a different interface.
It's the same game, but there are differences. Scholarship Edition and Anniversary Edition have the extra classes, and they have extra missions too, I believe.
Yeah, the game also allows you to have 2-player competitive multiplayer mode.
Which I never touched, and I'm sure nobody plays anymore.
Wait, what was that? 2-player competitive mode, like head to head.
Yeah.
It was like a local mini game mode you could play. You know,
I thought
like
it was online too.
maybe it's online on Anniversary Edition, but I know that it was local on Scholarship Edition.
Okay.
So then, TJ, I mean, somebody must have done the motion capture for your character, right?
Yeah, it has to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, the guy that
they
I-
had one.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. No, maybe they just had the one. My character was such a like a B or C level. They probably had one dude do all the
in like a
C-level
day or
characters.
whatever. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah, that's true. The guy that I wasn't originally. Actually, I wasn't originally cast. I think I might have told you this, Swag. Or maybe I don't know.
You actually brought this up in the Q&A video, and
in the Q&A video, okay.
Yeah, and as soon as you did that, people freaked out.
They
sent me like a million messages like, find out about this now. It's like, what am I gonna do? Just like call up Rockstar and get this information? What are you talking about?
Wait, so do you know who the original?
No,
voice actor was?
that's the thing. Nobody.
I do.
Oh, you do.
Well,
jeez.
well, here's the thing. He was hired. I got hired, right? And I'm in the booth, like on my first day, and I'm watching like a, they had they had already done the motion capture, but it was kind of still very crude, but you could still see the character like going through and talking to whoever he was talking to. You know what I mean? So like reference for me, that was very helpful. But I could hear, so the motion capture actor who did, Jimmy, I could hear his voice, right? So, and it sounded super familiar. And I don't know, halfway through the session, I was just like, hey, by the way, like, who was the actor? His name was Dan, I forget his last name right now, but we were friends in acting school at the U in 1998. And I hadn't seen him since I left. I was only at BU for a short time, and I left, and I literally like never saw him again. Maybe like one time. And then I'm in the booth and I'm like, dude, who is this? And they said the name and I was like, you've got to be shitting me. And it was actually, 2004, like I was on, I guess, MySpace maybe, but that was still when Facebook, you had to have an EDU college address, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't on Facebook. So, I wasn't like couldn't really like find him. And dude, not like a week later after like my first couple sessions at Rockstar, I ran into him at an audition. And I was like, dude, you will never guess what's going on with me. And I was like, dude, I took your gig, man. They hired me to play you. And he was like, damn, I did 3 weeks of motion capture. And they were like, yeah, we'll call you when it's time to record the voiceover. And they never called me.
Wow. Wait, so you actually know the fucking guy who was the original? Wow.
Yeah, and I was
that's
like, dude,
uncovering some shit here.
I was like, dude, I'm sorry. Like it happens in this business. I guess they just decided over the 3 weeks or whatever, listening to him talk, that they decided he wasn't right for the voice.
Yeah, and I've also heard it's a very like
So
tight-knit community. Like everybody pretty much like knows each other pretty much, and just like you at least heard names
for voiceover.
Yeah.
I think with that kind of stuff, it's like you
kind of just run into people you know.
Right. Yeah.
You'll run into like your types. Like when I go in for on camera stuff, like my body type, I'll see the same kind of guys, but it's not as prevalent. But also the guy that did motion capture might have made, and I could be wrong, Gerry, he might have made more money because it was a motion capture. But none of us get residuals. Like if you took his commercial, like I remember I booked, they brought me in to do the voice of a Super 8 hotel, like the voice of the sign for Super 8, and I went in and it was just me, and I sat in an office. It was so weird, and I sat down in an office and I knew this guy John. I worked with Tidy Cats, and he's like, hey man, they want to change the voice for the sign, and like I thought of you. I just want you to read the script, like just have fun. And they played the sign, and it was just this other dude that was like, the sign was like, oh hey, oh no, like that.
What?
And they were like, the sign sounds a bit aggressive, so they want to change the voice. And I remember booking it, and I thought that too. I was like, oh man, I took this job.
Just snaked your friend's gig.
Yeah, I made about, I don't know, like $50,000 a year or something like that. And I was like, this dude was banking on this job.
Yeah,
and then kind of was sitting home with his agent, and then
it happens though, man. Yeah. I mean, I booked a Dunkin' Donuts on camera in 2004, right around Bully, and shot in Toronto. It was 3 spots, and I'm 23, 24, right out of college.
Yeah,
I'm doing 3 national network spots. So Dunkin' Donuts had never had espressos and like lattes and shit, and they were rolling out like now you can get a latte or an espresso, a cappuccino at Dunkin' Donuts, but they never had them before. So this was a huge deal to them. So the fact that I booked this spot with another girl, Melissa Rausch, actually, she went on to be on that show, Sheldon, the dude.
Oh yeah.
You probably know her, dude. She's a comic. She's a stand-up comic. Melissa Rausch. You know that? You know her?
Oh,
Who she
maybe.
is?
I'd have to look her up.
What's that freaking Space Spock Star Trek show?
Space Spock?
It's the freaking...
Space Spock is my favorite Star Trek spin.
No, Space Spock. No, dude, the character's name is Sheldon. It's like the biggest sitcom in the universe now.
Is that you talking about the fucking Big Bang Theory shit?
Thank you. So she went on. Yeah. She's like one of the friends. She's like the other female that isn't, Blossom. Anyway, so we booked this spot, and the guys from the ad agency, I forget what ad agency, but like a huge one. You know, you would know it, TJ. At one point on set, I'm talking to one of them, and he's like, "Dude, these commercials are going to be huge. We have so many more spots planned with these two characters. You and your we were Dunkin' Donuts employees, right? We played employees.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, these were his exact words. Speaking of Ben Curtis, the Dell Computer Kid, he goes, "You guys are going to be bigger than the Dell Computer Kid." And I knew Ben, and I knew just how huge those freaking commercials were, and I was just like, "Oh man, this is amazing." And then we finish the spots. I go home, and a couple weeks, months later, whatever, I haven't really heard anything. So I email the contact that I had at the same guy at the ad agency. He writes back. The new head of Dunkin' Donuts doesn't like him. They're only going to air his wild spots regionally. Boom, just like that. And then they made new commercials, and they were so stupid, man. These commercials were so funny. Matt Walsh, you know Matt Walsh, right, TJ?
Oh yeah.
So he was in one of them. He was in one of them. Yeah, UCB. He was in one of them, and they were just really funny, like different, cool spots. And the new owner, a new CEO, doesn't like him. $1 million. What do they care? Out the down the drain. So like it happens in this business. You can't really count your chickens until you literally start counting chickens. So
yeah, so you get that chicken check.
You get that big ass chicken check, man.
So it's crazy because like I believe people have been kind of like, who is this guy who originally did Jimmy's voice and everything? Because like I believe, isn't there like some shitty recording? Like
yeah,
in the
there
files
actually
or
is.
something?
In the game, you can actually, if you go down, like through the dorm, the boys' dorm, if you go to like one of the neighboring dorm rooms, you can actually listen through the door, and you can hear like an ambiance thing, like in the background. And if you listen closely, you can actually hear Matt Bush and Peter Vack's voices, along with, I guess, this Dan guy.
Oh,
so you can actually hear like
Jimmy.
Yeah, you can hear like a rehearsal session with the original voice actor.
So that they snuck that in there for like
they basically
fans to figure it out.
They took like a test recording and then just reused it by kind of scrambling the audio a bit and adding some filters to make it kind of blend in.
Right.
Sure. And just thinking that, like, yeah, this is Sweg's got the deep, the deep knowledge.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's cool that they put little things in the game like that for people to find.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we're just like uncovering this crazy bullshit because like people have been like, who is this guy? And then you're like, oh, it's this guy I know named Dan. Everyone's been wondering all this time, and like apparently you actually knew. It's
I knew
Dan.
him. Yeah,
it's Dan
in my class at BU. Man, I could not believe
crazy.
it. And then I ran into him a week later after having not seen him in literally like 6 years. It's nuts.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Dude, I took your gig, man. Sorry. And I haven't seen him since.
You guys want to know something interesting? We haven't even finished all the information I have to read.
Oh God!
Oh my God! We're still in the intro. We are still in the intro.
Oh, it's not the intro. It's the beginning of the podcast, sort of.
Jesus.
The intro.
All right, hit it. Hit it, George.
Yeah, I'll go quick on this. This game was developed by Rockstar Vancouver for the PS2 version. Scholar Edition, oh my god, now I'm fucking up. Scholarship Edition was done by Mad Dog Software. The Wii port was done by Rockstar Toronto, and the Anniversary Edition was done by War Jump Studios. Of course, this game was published by Rockstar Games. Go!
And I can also add like one more small bit
Holy
to
podcast.
that. The game was initially.
Yeah.
I remember playing this game first announced. They announced an Xbox version as well.
Yes.
Which never actually came out, unfortunately. But I would have because I preferred my Xbox over the PS2, to be honest. I just.
I like the Xbox too. Don't worry.
I enjoyed both systems. I had them both, but I just thought the Xbox was a little bit more like, superior as far as the hardware and whatnot. So I thought this game would have looked and played better on the Xbox and the PS2. But I guess Rockstar decided not to split their resources.
Probably because the PS2 was more popular.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually the thing. They developed an Xbox version of the, like the original Canis Canimeted Bully 2006 release.
Right.
And for unknown reasons, at least to the public, they canceled that, and they only released it on the PS2.
Wait, so are you saying they did work on the Xbox version?
They did. I've actually I have some contacts. Well, I have some contacts on various websites like Assembler Games. Websites where people auction and trade rare games and consoles.
Right.
And one guy I spoke to actually claims to have at one point had access to like a beta version of the Xbox version of that. So
it could very well be real.
If there's
those prototypes do leak out occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I own 3 now, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like if there's any credibility to that, then there might still be some versions of that floating around on the internet.
Oh, that would be wonderful to find that stuff.
Maybe there's one that's stuck inside of a Raspberry Pi. A la mode.
No, that's me. I'm actually stuck inside that Raspberry Pi.
I feel like this podcast is stuck inside a Raspberry Pi. We keep just revisiting that.
It's a joke it's a joke that it's not even part of the podcast.
Nope. Raspberry Pi.
Nope. Yeah, Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, that's right. This is going to start off. Now we have to explain what the Raspberry Pi is. A system because of a show I do in Queens called Retro Bits, which is a show I'll plug at the end.
I need to find a way to get out there.
I totally forgot that
you can take a train.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But you know how the train is fucking garbage over here. Anyway, go on.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I forgot that the whole Raspberry Pi bit was like links back to your actual show. That's why we started talking about it.
Oh no.
Yep.
You're going to have to release this whole thing.
Oh man.
Oh god, all 5 hours of it?
Does anyone have does anyone have anything to do in the next 4 hours? Because
right?
I actually I gotta take a leak.
Sweet. Just bring the thing in.
I'll go get one of my nephew's diapers.
Oh man.
Use a diaper, bro.
All right, George, what's up? What's next, man?
So what's up is I think we talked about the overview of the game,
Okay.
We got Jimmy Hopkins, voiced by Mr. Gerry Rosenthal here.
That's me.
His mother and his stepfather throw him into this boarding school because they want to, they want to do the whoopee or something. And then...
We're going on a cruise for 6 months.
Right.
What does he say? Okay. Something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So here I am, surrounded by pedophiles, junkies. What does he say? Something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think the pedophiles part is in there, though.
Oh, okay, Swag, sorry.
At least I would hope not.
It was like 14
Jimmy
years ago.
Hopkins is thrown to this shitty boarding school, Bulworth Academy, and he's trying to survive. That's honestly basically it, because then all this shit happens. Shit hits the fan basically almost instantly when he becomes quote unquote friends with the psychopath Gary. you know, and then
Right.
once you hit the end of chapter 1 or whatever, you know, that's you know, it's basically a revenge story for the most part.
I didn't
Seriously.
get past, the first couple missions. So how far did I get, Swag? Do you remember?
You got
didn't
about
even finish
halfway
chapter
through
1, right?
chapter 1, yeah.
Yeah.
All I remember is like saving it. It's like you have completed 3% of the
Oh, by the way,
Right.
that percentage counter is not. It doesn't refer to like the missions. It refers to like the whole
Everything.
game. You know, collectibles,
Yes. Yeah.
everything like
Yeah.
that.
So it's not like 3% of the story, it's 3% of like the game and the side stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't.
And some of that side stuff
I
is
don't,
total bullshit.
I don't follow.
The
Okay,
story-
so the game has
progress-
the game has a completion percentage thing that shows when you save and load. This is in reference to like the game's completion overall, which is not just missions, but also like collectibles or unlockables or you know, like
So you
completing
can complete
classes.
so you can beat the game without getting 100%.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's
You,
what you're
you can-
saying?
if you
Alright.
really
Most
wanted to,
people
you could
will
only
complete
do
the
the
game.
missions.
Like 100% less.
Wait, what?
If you really wanted to, you could only do the missions and not do anything else, and you would still
Right.
beat it.
Right.
You know
Gotcha,
how
so
annoying
you-
that would be not to go to class though? You just like, I'm trying to do a mission and this fucking cop is fucking following me. No thanks. I'd rather go to class and get all that shit done.
So the class work does not help you beat the game.
Oh, on the contrary, that's very helpful.
Well, you know, it can make it
helpful, but it's
easier
not
because you do.
necessary. Yes.
Yeah, you do unlock stuff that can help you. You know, like English class can teach you how to like apologize to cops if they think you're up to shit.
Oh, right. That's I think
Yeah,
I did
chemistry
something
was
like
my
that.
favorite class,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
you
I
get
blew
the
something
weapons
up.
from chemistry
Yeah,
class.
sneak bombs, the itching powder, great stuff.
Which one? I think it's art class that has the upgrades with kissing girls.
Yes, yep, yeah.
It's like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, it
I
does.
guess.
I've always been more into music.
right. That's a very good pull, and it's so accurate too.
Yeah. I went to art school. It did not make me better at kissing girls.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure you were kissing girls?
I mean, I think I was. I think
Are you
but it
sure
didn't
you
make
weren't
me
you
any
weren't
better.
you weren't kissing that bully that's into guys? Was his name Trent?
Oh, well, maybe. Maybe.
Is that his
Lucky
name?
me, then.
That bully you can kiss?
Yeah,
Is
there's like one in each faction.
Oh, is there?
There's a
Yeah.
gay guy in each faction.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
I
saying?
don't know what. By the way, this is one of the many things that Jack Thompson took issue with. Like, out of
Who's
all the
that?
things in the game, he's like, there's gay stuff in it. It's like,
Oh, that guy.
what?
Yeah, like,
That guy. Yeah.
yeah. That's the weirdest thing.
And the thing is, like, it's never introduced outside of you exploring that. Like,
Right.
if you
Yeah,
never,
it doesn't
if,
force you. It doesn't
yeah,
say,
if you,
hey, go up
if you
there and
never,
kiss her.
if you never interact with any of these characters out of your own volition, then this option will never even come up.
Right.
So he must have found this out himself and then been like, oh, this game promotes this. It's like, no, you sought that out.
I mean, he must have. It happened before the game was even released. So I mean, he had some sort of insider info or something, right?
Probably, yeah.
Must have.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Maybe.
he was accusing Rockstar of all kinds of crazy shit, so they were just kind of like, okay, well, we're gonna send you a pre-release copy of the game and you can check it out, and then you
Yeah.
can just fuck off.
Yeah.
And that's
Did they-
what happened.
Did they give you a copy of the game, TJ?
No, I think I asked my agent. I was like, "Can you give me a free copy?" And I think he did.
Oh,
So
nice.
I think the answer was yes, but I had to like be up my agent's butt. I'm holding
Yeah.
it right now. It's the one from 2006, not the collector's edition, just the old. It's in actually good shape. I kept it in good shape.
They sent me like a little care package of. They sent me the game. They sent me a like a skull cap, like a Scully. It said a Rockstar
dude.
Scully, which was
Oh, that's
dope.
awesome.
Which was dope. Which I fucking lost, man. I was so pissed.
Oh.
I had it for years. It was really dope. Had like the Rockstar logo. And then they sent me like, which I thought was kind of weird. They sent me like 50 bully stickers. Like I'm like a
Oh,
a
really?
high school girl, and I'm just like sticking stickers all over
Yeah.
my trapper keeper or something. Like I was
All
just
over
like,
your
what
locker.
the fuck am I gonna do with all these stickers? And I put a few on like guitar cases, but like other than that, like I probably still have them. But they never, they were like, yeah, we'll give you a free copy, and I was like, well, I don't have anywhere to play it. Hint, hint. like hoping they just drop a PlayStation
like,
on me.
A PlayStation 2.
Yeah, why not? They got PlayStations like just sitting around everywhere in that
It's
office.
old hardware, man. It's like 6 years old. Like, you can give it to me for free, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude. That place, that Rockstar Studios is so. There's like an arcade when you walk in. There's arcade machines.
Yeah.
Such a cool. Dude, it blew my mind when I walked in that
dope.
studio.
The one on Broadway, right? It was on Broadway in Lafayette. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like 6 stories.
I know, dude. I was like, this is the greatest. Because I'm a big gamer, so I was like, this is the greatest day of my life. Oh, it was the best.
And they have people. I just remember they had people whose job it is to like troubleshoot and just like walk into walls all day, walk into like every wall in the game. It's like
make sure it's so
that'll only take.
Make sure you kiss that bully.
Yeah, that'll only take 9 months, 8 hours a day.
Oh god, yeah.
I know. I heard you always want to be like a game tester, but sometimes like I think it's like
it's probably
no, you don't want to be a game tester.
Absolutely.
Sucks.
Oh yeah.
Stinks.
Did my character must have.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. I was saying, TJ, I must have like beat you up or something, or you beat me up at some point, right?
Yeah, me and you. Yeah, we go on a mission. I think there's a couple missions that we go on together.
Okay.
But yeah, you could fight. Yeah, I think you could beat me up.
Are we friends?
No, not really. We do go on a mission because I think I'm like kind of like a loser.
Oh,
and I think there's a mission where you're.
Are we talking about real life or the game?
No, the game.
TJ, are we friends in real life, bro?
Real life soon, but the game. Yeah, I think it was Beach Rumble or something like that. It was a mission that
that's
you play. Yeah, I'm like on the back of the bike or something like that. It's somewhere we're like running from somebody. Yeah. That's the only time that we are playing that. But I think you could find me around the school and you could beat me up around the school.
Yeah, you're not like the head greaser.
No. I was like
a B character.
Like a B character bike mechanic. Like I had like some cutscenes and like I said, a couple missions with you.
Right. How many days did you record?
I think like maybe 2 or something, just because it wasn't. 2 or 3. It wasn't that much.
Yeah.
But considering how much dialogue there was, that's kind of surprising.
There's so much. Like when I did like a pedestrian like Grand Theft Auto, like I think 4.
Oh.
But it's like it's such a weird thing of like it's so weird when you audition for Rockstar because the lines are just like especially as a pedestrian, let's say when you do it, it's just like, oh no, look out.
Right. There's a lot of that.
Just a lot of like, and then the director just gives you like a second of direction, like, okay, this is the sound you make when the guy opens the door and like pulls you out, and you're just like, and then it's like, okay, let's do it again. It's like, it's just so weird. Yeah, that's it. All right, a car explodes in the distance. You just say, what the fuck? And it's like, what the fuck? It's like, cool, let's do another one. Yeah, it's so easy. And then I just did like a couple Ballad of Gay Tony. I did a character and I did a couple like radio spots in there, or something like that.
Awesome.
But that's about it. Yeah, that's it. I haven't done. My friends have done Red Dead, but I haven't done it. And I didn't do the the sequel that's coming out. And then that was right. Bully was like the biggest thing, and then it's some like a pedestrian, and then something else, and then DLC, and then that was it. It was like, okay.
Well,
I haven't done anything since.
In the Q&A video we did, you mentioned that Rockstar is really good at like bringing back voice actors from older games.
I mentioned
I was a liar. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, TJ.
Because like I actually, after that video, I played some GTA 4, and I heard like a voice on the radio, and it was not you, but it was like another person who voiced in Bully. Yeah. And I was like, is this Wade from fucking Bully? And I had to look it up, and I was like, oh, holy shit, there's a bunch of voice actors from GTA who were in Bully who were also in GTA 4.
Yeah.
Right.
So it seems like Rockstar is really keen on bringing back like people that have provided voice acting in the past.
Yeah, some studios are very good about that. Like Valve was also very good about that.
It's funny because THQ actually kind of did the same thing with the Saints Row series.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They had somebody voice over like pedestrians, and then I think it was like someone from like the enemy gang in the first game, and then in the second game they used the same voice actor for Pierce Washington, and then like so on and so forth. Obviously they're gonna get the same voice actor for the character, but like it's just really interesting how they carry over you know, these voice actors, and it's like, you know, consistency. So
Wish they'd call me.
Yeah, I mean, that was the only thing. Oh, no, Gerry, no.
When are they going to make this? When are they going to make this goddamn sequel to Bully so I can,
tell me
so
about
I can get
There's been
paid?
rumors, there's been speculation.
Oh, dude, there was speculation for 10 years.
Well, they dropped
now.
that stuff like
Yeah,
about like
they also.
like you know the last thing I heard about that, there was some leaked images, like images I guess over the summer, I guess that kind of
something like that,
that kind of like speculated about a sequel, but Rockstar of course not saying anything.
Wasn't there like an article? Wasn't there an article in what was it like? Game Informer or something? It's like Kevin's back, Jack, or something like that.
Yeah, something like,
something
like that too.
But like,
yeah.
There was,
I think that was an
there was
April
like
Fool's joke or
there-
something though.
I mean, like they denied it being a joke or anything like that. They were just kind of like, this is an error in our database. It's like it's a very odd error, isn't it?
Actually, if you listen to, I forget what year it is, but if you listen to the Giant Bombcast, they do E3 shows, and I think the person who was like behind that shit, I think that was one of the people like sitting on the couch talking, and they were talking about this specific scenario and how it was like complete bullshit, but for some reason it got out, or so I almost completely forget what the deal is with that, but apparently it's really fake.
The whole thing is like, I'd love to make a second one. I just don't know what they could, like, I don't know what they could do. This game was 10 years ago.
A lot of people are saying like Jimmy in college.
College would make
he goes
sense.
to college.
Yeah.
He fights frat kids or something. You know.
I guess you're right. Yeah, that's
there's
true.
There's plenty of factions in college.
Oh
that he
boy,
could,
yes there are.
that he could fight. You know.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you know, he would have to be older, so I mean, I assume my voice got a little deeper. Probably not, actually, but I mean, you know, they don't have to. Again, like I said, like they'd probably hire someone famous or with some sort of name, not just me, just because I voiced the original. I mean, of course, I would love it if they did, but you know, I mean, they've never called me since.
I think if they were smart, I think if they did a second one in college, dude, and I know, like, as long as they know you're still like working and acting and stuff, I'm pretty sure they would bring you back. I'd be more afraid. I don't think they'd bring me back because it was such a weird side character. But I think if they didn't bring you back, I think that'd be a little nuts.
I think
because
people
really love this game.
I mean, I feel like the only reason to make it at this point, it's not going to make you $1 million, but it's the only reason to really make it is for the cult.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fans, for the obsessed Bully fans who all they want. I mean, that's every day I get Facebook messages. Is there going to be a Bully 2? When is Bully 2? It's like, I don't work for Rockstar, people. Like, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about it, dude. You know, so if you were going to make it for the hardcore fans, like, yeah, it would make sense to bring me back because, you know, I'm part of the fandom.
Right.
But, you know, nobody's been calling me. In fact, I got nominated for a Spike TV video game award in like 2006.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, dude. And dude, I think you knew this, SWEGTA, right? I think I told you.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so I couldn't even get I get a call from some random dude. He's like, "Hey, I work for, you know, some agency. You got nominated for a Spike TV video, a voiceover award, you know, for the game. So the categories, there's 5 nominees. It's me, Johnny Depp for Pirates of the Caribbean, Patrick Stewart for Star Trek, Seth Green for, I guess there's a Family Guy video game, and do you remember who the other one was, Swag? It was some other huge famous name. Kiefer Sutherland for 24. There's a 24.
Oh my God.
And me. And this guy calls me up and he's like, "Hey man, yeah, you've been nominated for this award and like you're a hard guy to track down. Like we couldn't get information on you." And I'm like, "What the fuck? I'm represented by Abrams Artists. You couldn't find my what?
Yeah.
Like what are you talking about? Nobody at Rockstar could get you my contact info." He's like, "So anyway, you've been nominated for this award. I just want to make sure there's all your contact info, and you'll be hearing from the people at Spike." Never heard a thing. My agent didn't know anything about it. Never heard a thing. And I remember watching. I saw like the previews or I guess I saw online or whatever, like red carpet, like there's Seth Green, there's Johnny, like people showed up for this thing. It was hosted by Samuel L. Jackson. Like you can't even get me. I mean, I would even just get me to the show I would pay. I would. It was in LA. Like I would have just bought my own flight out there and just like stayed with friends and hung out at the awards show. But it was definitely like it was a popularity contest. You had to vote. People voted. You know. So it was just like obviously like I think Patrick Stewart won or Johnny Depp. Like obviously I have no clout. I voted. I told my friends to vote, and that was that. And of course I didn't.
Hey, at least you got votes, man.
Yeah, I got some votes. I guess I got some votes.
Plus, the game did get like 2 awards, so like it did get like some recognition.
Best voices: Patrick Stewart, Ethan Sutherland, Gerry Rosenthal.
It's just such a thrill. It's just such an honor to be nominated with these fellow nominees. I'm so honored.
Isn't it kind of like? Don't you think like this is actually crazy that like you were piled up with those guys like Patrick Stewart and
it's cool.
It's like that's
it's cool. I just
awesome.
Too bad it was bullshit and they couldn't even let me into the awards show. Couldn't give me a ticket. Jesus.
I was gonna say you're kind of dating this now because like there is no Spike TV anymore.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's Paramount Network or whatever. So
I got rid of cable. So
good man.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I think a Spike TV. I think it's a hard. I don't think they'll ever have a channel like that again. Cause it's just too like how things are with everything. It's just too like aggressive. They've we don't need a man's channel anymore. It's
I agree with that. I used to watch Spike all the time
too. Yeah, me too. It's like,
but Spike also started getting kind of shitty.
They did.
Of course it did.
Yeah, but
guys, I'm gonna step out and use the bathroom.
Okay. Sure thing, man.
I'll be back.
Thing. All right. See you, Jimmy. So like it's.
Hey guys, now that he's gone, I was the one that called him. Don't tell anyone.
Oh shit!
I called from Spike. I was the Spike guy.
Oh, you're Spike guy.
Yeah, don't tell him. Shut up! Don't tell him. Shut up! Don't tell him. Go on.
I don't even know what I was gonna say. When we were talking
Spike
about
TV.
When we were talking about your character, Ricky, I wanted to bring up that I think my favorite line from him is, well, your place in life is in my toilet, you trust fund turd.
Fun turd. Yeah.
Oh, you remember that? Okay.
yeah. It's such a great line.
It is. It really is.
Such a weird. I remember when I auditioned for it. If they called it a different name, and I was just like, "Oh, you're doing like a New York accent," and I was like, "Okay," and I was like facing. They were looking at my back as I was facing like this little booth in a room. It was just so weird. And they were like, this game's for Rockstar, but you can't say anything. And I started laughing. I was like, oh my God. But they told me after I auditioned, so I didn't feel like stressed afterwards. I was just excited. I was like, this is going to be great. Yeah. And I was so glad when I booked it. It's like one of my first like earliest jobs.
That's how you did the character, huh? You just used some kind of New York accent.
Yeah, I just kind of like I grew up in Jersey, but I was like going to school in Brooklyn, and I had friends that were Brooklyn, so I just kind of like pushed up a little bit of like Travolta-ish, you know.
Right.
Well, I don't think
to have that.
Yeah, actually, I thought the voice acting in this game overall was very, very good. And for games this time period, they really weren't. The voice acting usually not as good then as places now. So I was very surprised to see this game was 2006 and the voice quality is this good in this game. That's kind of surprising. But
except that Jimmy character, he had the worst voice actor.
Hey, I'm back, dickheads. Fucking assholes.
I mean, Jimmy had the best voice act. Like, didn't you hear he was nominated for an award?
For
like,
Spike
he almost
TV?
beat Patrick Stewart.
No. So what I missed, guys? Catch me up.
We talked about Spike TV, and then we talked about one of the best lines that TJ had, where he said, "Well, your place in life is in my toilet. You trust fund turd." So I think that might actually be like somewhat near the mission where you guys actually work together.
Hang out.
Yeah, that might be. I'm not 100% sure.
People ask me what my favorite line was that I said in the Q&A swag, and I actually had to like YouTube cutscenes and just like find something that I said because I couldn't remember anything. And then I went with that. I'm not into art. I've always been into more into music, so I couldn't remember.
Is that Jimmy talking or you talking? Though? I mean, I know that's a line in the game, but come on.
it's it's both for sure.
Oh yeah.
TJ, you said like you're a big gamer. You walked into Rockstar like mind blown. Like I was just so far from that scene. I never played video games. By that point, I was out of college. I mean, I think the most I ever did was my buddies had Mario. We played a lot of Mario Kart. Of course, I was terrible. On the Nintendo 64. On Nintendo 64.
Newer systems, yeah.
Yes.
So I think I played the Nintendo 64 in college. But anyway, so like I walked in, I was just like, this was just another gig. It was a really good paying gig, and that's really all. I didn't really like pay close attention to like anything else, to be quite honest. But well, for better or worse. I mean, I don't know. I kind of wish I did remember a little bit more, but those were some hazy days.
Yeah,
for sure.
Long ago.
Yeah, and it was a lot of money too for me, for a kid like that age. So I definitely had a good time. And of course, the first thing you ask your agent is, "Do we get residuals?" They're like,
first
"No."
thing, exactly. And they said no.
They said no, but she was like, "I got you a good rate up front, day rate." So
isn't it crazy though? Because like, how many times this game has come out, and
no, we'd be raking it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, man.
Yeah.
It's such a weird. It's like now. I know nowadays SAG-AFTRA has been trying to like. There's some kind of deal for us now that if a game
video games?
sells, it's like if a game sells over over 1 million copies or something like that, that the actors start making like a certain percentage on it, or like another. Like you get, if it sells like 1 million copies or something like that, then you start getting like a little bit of residuals on it.
Right.
But again, it's like in the 80s, SAG kind of dropped the ball with cable and of course.
and channels like Nickelodeon and HBO, like
MTV.
They were paying MTV. I mean, how much? I've done work for MTV over the past, like, as I'm sure you have, and it's like, remember Celebrity Deathmatch? You remember that show?
Oh,
did you ever voice any? Did you ever voice?
No.
Did you ever do any voices?
Nah, I never did it. One of my buddies used to write on it.
Wait, did you just say you did?
Yeah, I did. Like,
dude.
I did some of the NSYNC members when it was like NSYNC versus the Backstreet Boys. I
think you also did Macaulay Culkin, right?
Who?
Macaulay Culkin?
I did, yes. I did Macaulay.
Dude,
I did
awesome.
Ricky Schroeder.
Oh.
That actor, Ricky Schroeder. Anyway, dude, you'd walk out of there with like $125. No residuals. It's like, this is bullshit. But because SAG, I guess, missed the cable boat, and I kind of feel like, I remember thinking at the time, well, at some point, if video games blow up, like, of course they will, the union's gonna figure out a way to, maybe if Bully gets made today, maybe I do make some residuals, like you said, I mean, they're trying to figure something out.
Yeah, they dropped the whole thing. They dropped the ball on that. They dropped the ball on Netflix and Hulu and Amazon. And they were like, no one's watching TV on the internet. And then it's like, they're so dumb.
20th
I swear.
And everybody's going to use Blackberries. And
yeah, they're so dumb. And then video games are like children's games? Who cares? It's okay, way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
It's a bummer.
That's why it's like, it's cool to be, but it's just like, I don't know. It's the same thing. Like, I do a ton of like commercial work for like voiceover for like, but it's like, it never gets me, when I would do a voiceover for McDonald's, it's not like, people hear it and I got booked because they're like, they heard you on a McDonald's ad or they saw you. It's like, it doesn't.
No, but you get residuals. I mean, you get residuals for radio. You get residuals for radio and for TV voiceovers.
Yeah, still.
You get good residuals for TV voiceovers and for radio spots. So it's like, why are video games any different? I mean, it's my voice.
I think because video games, it's such a risk of like, there's so many more people working on it. Like the thing that companies don't understand for gaming is like, no one, like Mickey Rourke did a Bethesda video game. I forgot what the game was called, but Mickey Rourke was the main voice actor and the motion capture in it. Mm-hmm. And the game was terrible. It wasn't a good game. It wasn't fun. And it wasn't done well.
I know what game you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like gamers don't care as long as the voiceover is good, we don't care if it's Patrick Stewart. Like, we're not stupid. If the game is not fun, no one
Nobody's
cares.
gonna
Patrick. Oh, dude, did you hear about Patrick Stewart? He's the voice of a new Castlevania game, and you're like, well, what's the gameplay like? It doesn't matter the gameplay. Patrick Stewart is doing the voice. It's like no one cares,
and I'll still suck at it.
Yeah, you'll still be terrible. Jerry's doing slow runs.
dude, that's great. That's a thing, man. I gotta do it. Dude, you gotta watch this stream because I am the slowest of the slow, man. It's bad.
Yeah,
he didn't even know how to pause the game.
I didn't know how to pause it.
Oh, that's my favorite thing.
And dude, remember Swag when I was like, oh man, what is it if like you don't pause it quick enough? If he just stands around, like people are like, what is it like if I just
asleep?
At night. People are like, pause the game. People are like, every comment is just like, pause.
I actually had people message me like on Skype, like tell him to pause the fucking game already.
Oh my god,
that's great.
So funny, man. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, all right. What's next, George? What do we got, bro?
Yeah, bro.
Well, why don't we talk about how the game plays and how we like it or dislike it?
Okay.
You want to talk about that? Jerry, why don't you share your 2 minutes of input, and then we can go from there.
Oh, man. The game is... I'm terrible at it, and it's fun, but I suck. So, next person. I have no reference to how this plays versus another game.
This plays similar enough to a GTA game. Similar enough, but not exactly. Yeah.
Like I felt right at home playing this game, like playing. But because the fact it does play a lot like other GTA games. Not just like like GTA games, but the interface and the engine felt similar enough to other Rockstar games like LA Noire, like a Red Dead Redemption. And I'm like, okay, like I know what I'm doing here, but. So, I was able to pick up the nuance of the game like right away. You're not going around shooting thugs and carjacking and doing carjackings and whatnot, but you play one. But generally speaking, if you played one Rockstar game, I don't.
You played them all?
No, I don't want to say that because there are differences between all the games.
You have an idea of how the game's going to play, though.
Right, it's like the same family. It's like okay, this is the brother, this is the brother, this is the cousin. Like you're all in the same intermediate family.
Is that because they're all like designed by the same people?
Partly, I think. Yeah.
It's by design.
The game engines are all similar, I think, especially for this time period.
Hey guys.
Maybe.
Hey guys, I actually have to leave in a few. I gotta go help my wife with dinner with these two kids. Well, I was just gonna say if there's anything else you wanna ask me, and then you could save like the gamer nerd talk, for when I leave.
Sure. For me, the nerd.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything else you want to ask me, shoot.
Put me on the spot here. Because, you guys, I was thinking up of questions, and then you guys were just going off at it, and it's like, you're answering basically all my questions.
I guess we're answering a lot of stuff, yeah. I mean, any stories about the game? I don't know.
Is there any funny stories about, like while you were working on the VO and everything, or?
I guess recognizing my old buddy Dan and taking his gig is probably the best story to come out of it.
Dan
doing the motion capture was really awesome. It was out in Long Island, actually.
Seriously?
It was a day out in Long Island, yeah, and in a huge studio with all the cameras on the ceilings. And I pitched the director. I guess he was the creator. I forget what's the guy's names? Pete something? Peter? Who's the guy
Peter Beck?
Who's the guy who created this game?
Oh, are you talking about the designers or designers of the game?
I think I'm talking about like the writer who wrote the script.
Dan Houser and Jacob Leslie Wikipedia.
Leslie Benzies, maybe?
I want to say he was like British.
Well, according to Wikipedia, the writers
Sam
of the game
Houser?
were Dan Houser and Jacob Carup.
Alright, so I think it was Dan, and he was directing these cutscenes, and I was like, I had this idea. I was like, why don't you combine like Bully and why wouldn't you combine Bully and like Guitar Hero was huge, right? It's like, what if you combine Bully and Guitar Hero? So you made a game like Bully, but you made it more about music and like the missions. You had to like play guitar and like I don't know. I was just like riffing, like maybe you're competing with other bands and like you have to put up, one of the missions is like put up flyers around town and like beat up club owners. I don't know, dude. It'd be like, and then at the end of every mission you have to play a show and then you get your guitar out, you do that, and it's like a bully Guitar Hero. Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Yeah, I could see it like an open world game where you're this guy and you have an up and coming band and you're working your ass off to do
you have to rehearse, you have to like book gigs, you have to like
but then on top of that you're also beating the shit out of people with your guitar.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like all the little in-game missions, like the one where he's playing xylophone, Jimmy, and at the music thing, and like isn't there like a chemistry thing where like you have to like so things like that. So, but you would just apply it all to music for the most part. Whether it's like putting together a band or rehearsing, I don't know, man. I'm not a game designer, but I feel like it would be a good idea because Bully was big and Guitar Hero is so big,
right?
And I think I'm having this like great idea, and he looks at me and he's like, "Who would play that?" It's like, yeah, that was it. I thought he was going to be like, "Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, whatever." He was just like, "Who would play that?" And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, I would.
Fuck you.
I would.
Yeah,
and
seriously.
Wasn't there a game called? I know there was Rock Band, but wasn't there something that like was developed like kind of what I'm talking about when you could actually play? The characters.
Yeah, there was a game similar to that. I can't think of the name of it right now either myself. It was terrible, but it did.
I can't think of a game like that.
No, well maybe he stole my idea and just turned it into
shit. I
shit.
think the name of the game, George. That's what I meant. But
or maybe it's just not that good an idea.
Okay, so I have one question.
Like fuck you, man.
Yeah, like George said, I think you answered most of the questions I had, but I just had like one question.
Great.
Has anybody, do you know, has anybody told you that you've gotten work directly because of your work, like in this game?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, so right around the time I made Bully, I was kind of slowly transitioning to being a full-time musician.
Okay.
And, I still technically, I mean, I'm still with Abrams. Bonnie Shemolsky is my agent. She's, I'm still technically with the kids department, believe it or not. But I get, but they send me out. Other agents will send me out. And also, it's mostly like voiceover. I mean, TJ, you probably just record everything now at home and send it in, right? You don't have to go in anymore.
I hate it. I know. I hate it. Because I like going. Yeah, I want to be directed. I never met the client. Like, I don't know what the client wants. It's like then you're self-directing yourself, and
it is weird. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't like it either. Also, I have shitty setups to record, but
like I record on like my Snowball on my computer because like I don't want to do the setup I have when I record my podcast that I do at home. It's just it's too much of a pain to like do for like a 2-minute audition that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, like in the middle, like recording, your phone rings and you gotta like re-record. Someone knocks on the door, the neighbors are loud, it's the horns outside.
Hey, stop fucking over that.
Yeah, people are having intercourse downstairs. It's just so annoying. Yeah. So it's like I hate it. I like being directed. I like to go into a booth, then you meet the cast, then you see the casting director again, then like the next day she or he might have a project that like because you came in yesterday, she's like, I never thought of having Gerry to do this Dunkin' Donuts one. It's like then you go in. It's like now I record from home and then just hope that whoever books it, whoever is booking it, it's like, oh that ghost voice, that's good. And then
I mean you have to actually almost by luck, really. I mean, there's a million different ways to read copy. You almost just have to just get lucky and be exactly what they want. There's hope that when a pitcher's waiting for a fastball, kind of like he can guess it's a fastball or a curveball, and if he guesses right, he hits it out of the park. If he doesn't, he swings and misses, and he goes back to the dugout. It's that sort of thing. So
well, it's a weird thing of I remember not too long ago, maybe 2 years ago, my agent sent me the copy, and I was auditioning for the voice of Chester Cheetah.
Oh,
nice.
Well, there was number one in my head. I emailed my agent. I'm like, hey, and I try not to be like a dick, but it's hard because I'm so like doing it for like 13 years and being successful at it. Now watching, like, it's for me, it's very tough to work. It's just, I barely, it's everything's MP3s and just the business has changed so weird.
Yeah.
But I kind of was like, is there a reason that if this is the voice of Chester Cheetah, I was like, they don't think that they should book a casting director in an office for something this important?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then I also wrote, and I was like, and also, what do they want? There was no direction for the voice. I'm like, so what do they, like Chester Cheetah's voice that was running was like, oh, hello, I'm Chester Cheetah. It was like a British, so I'm like, do they want a British impression? Yeah, do they want that?
They might as well just get Patrick Stewart.
I wish. I mean, or they could just have Spike TV to call Kiefer Sutherland to get Kiefer down there.
I heard that Gerry Rosenthal guy is looking for work.
Yeah, it's just like I thought that was psychotic. I'm like, this is a huge campaign. I gotta record this from home. I'm like, shitty.
Also, I like hanging out with like other actors in the room, man. Yeah,
you don't see anyone. I mean, I just don't go out as much as it was before, and it's something that I really miss doing. It was super. Yeah, you get to like meet people and
hang out.
Yeah, it was cool and it was great. Yeah. Joke around. It just felt good. Being directed just felt good. Like, do it like this. You're like, great.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right.
I was aware part of the reason for that is because of the fact that indie games are using a ton of voice acting, but because they're people scattered all over the world, they have to have people like record auditions from home. But I never realized they actually went beyond the game market these days. That's pretty crazy.
It's all from home. Yeah. And indie games get away with, they can hire a regular actor like me to do an indie game, but indie games also, if you notice, they're very artsy and very beautiful, but a lot of the indie games get away with no voiceover. Like, they kind of get away with, Unravel had no voiceover, Limbo, Inside, like, there's no, you could do a beautiful game without, and a lot of walking simulators are happening now that, that they don't need voiceovers. Fallout does, the main character doesn't talk, but I mean, Fallout has every other.
Actually, Fallout 4, the main character does talk.
Oh, that's right. You're right. Crap.
It's a
Fallout
bad game, though, so you shouldn't play it.
No, it's not a bad game.
Oh, I love Fallout 4. Oh, no.
I'm not too happy with Fallout 4, but that's that's another.
There's also a lot of indie games I noticed recently. Also, like, will try to get some recognition. It says some recognition, like, their voice actors. Like, they'll keep, they'll cast people, for example, who do like anime voiceovers.
So, celebrities? You mean celebrities?
No, well, not really celebrities. Just the same people like who do the dubs for like Japanese animes. Like, like they know the market, you recognize the voices, but it's like, hey, we have so-and-so doing this voice, and you're like, okay, unless you're part of that niche, you have no idea who the hell that person is, but, they still try to, get the people in them,
that's true.
So Jerry, you have to get out of here?
Yeah, man, I'm sorry, guys. It's been a lot of fun, though. I'd definitely do it again. If you want to do part 2 or something down the road, call me up. Well, I'm happy to hang out. And then TJ just connected on Facebook, so I'll definitely hit you up about this live stream. They're fun. We keep it stupid. So
I'm in. I love it.
Nice and slow.
Love that stuff. I love that stuff.
All right, gentlemen.
Man. Hey, thanks a lot.
Later, guys. Take care, boys.
Take care.
Peace.
All right, take care, dude.
So did one of you guys say that you were like a musician earlier?
Who?
I thought I remembered like one of you guys like saying that you're a musician. I'm not sure if it was the guy who just left or
Gerry.
what.
Gerry. I mean, I drum a drummer, like I drum and stuff, but like not as. I mean,
is that
Gerry
what your band
like,
is called? Drum and stuff?
It's we tour, drum and stuff.
But actually,
the
caveat is you have to use turkey legs.
Yeah. Oh, they're delicious.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's a delicious band.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, like, on top of the voice acting, like, for this being like that good for a game this old, the music in this game is also excellent. It's a great soundtrack.
Oh, the music's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, the music is great. I mean, the music's not as good as Rockstar's Thrasher Presents Skate and Destroy.
Oh god,
but it's
my god, what a fucking pull! Do you like that game?
No,
okay.
I just made it up. I mean, it's no State of Emergency. I'm just looking at Rockstar's.
Oh god,
love looking at Rockstar's game lists.
I did not really like State of Emergency.
I remember that. That was such a weird game.
It was.
It was weird, which I
like. You're in this mall and you have to do missions.
Yeah.
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 It was. I remember. Yeah, it was a strange game.
SWEGTA, what can you tell me about the beta version of State of Emergency?
The beta version. I mean, it's in the Raspberry Pi that we can find.
God.
Oh, yeah. That was good. I think Bully played pretty well. It did feel like Grand Theft Auto, and it felt like,
kind of,
Red
I had
Dead.
some issues
It
with
has that running.
some of the issues.
It has that running mechanic.
Yeah, some of the
I'm
issues
sorry.
I had with the game were because of the pretty piss poor PS4 emulation, because that's how I played the game. But
Oh my God,
Yeah.
yes. So,
but even outside of
I
that,
bought it
there
on
definitely were some
PS4
control
as well.
issues. There definitely were some camera angles issues that I'm like, that's obviously you can tell that the game's 10 years old because of the way that the camera orientation. I'm like, I don't want the camera like this. Like, move it a little bit over this way, please.
Why are you zooming into Jimmy's car?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, yeah. So, I mean, I had an original copy for PS2, but when I was going back to it for this podcast, yeah, I bought it on PS4.
Yeah, same
and
here.
like the emulation is kind of spotty, and it's funny because like playing it on a PS4 like is worse than playing it on a PS2.
It still played better than the Windows version did. God, that was terrible.
Oh, jeez.
Yes and no. The controller support for that is very odd. Or not the controller support, I'm sorry, keyboard and mouse is very odd because the camera is so slow, and like when you're aiming, and you can max out the sensitivity and it is still slow as shit.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, to shoot, you use shift.
Yep.
So,
It's strange.
I'm sure SWEGTA has some fixes he has on his version.
Yeah, I just use a wireless 360 controller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My first.
Yeah, but you run like there's a modded version that like makes it run in 60 FPS or something.
Yeah, you can actually unlock the frame rate.
I've seen that before.
But the problem with that is that, the game wasn't meant for that. So
Right.
some of the missions and some of the side quests will have performance issues. Like, the game may... You may have, like, a soft lock unless you manually, like, via some other application, tell the game, like, hey, stick to 30 FPS for now. You might get stuck on, like, a loading screen or something like that.
Oh, that's bad. Yeah, the port... Like, it's so weird because Rockstar...
Until
is
recently,
known to have these piss
until
poor
recently, did not do
ports
very
to
good
PC.
ports. Yeah, they've gotten
Yeah,
better.
like the
recently,
GTA
but-
4 port was pretty shitty. GTA 5 was good, but then like it had a fucking memory leak issue. I think I'm pretty sure they fixed that
did
by
fix it,
now.
yeah.
But like,
But a lot of games,
I
memory
think Bully
issues
has
too.
that
That's
issue
just
too.
it, yeah,
Doesn't
yeah.
Bully have a memory leak issue?
Yeah. Well, the Xbox 360 Anniversary Edition did. They never fixed that.
Did it?
That was a
Oh god.
that was pretty like buggy port too, from what I understand.
I own that version too,
Yeah.
but I don't think I popped it in.
No, my first exposure to this game was seeing the game on a friend's house a few years ago. He had a PC version, and
Okay.
he had a high-end system. The game was still buggy as all hell. So, but yeah, the PS4 version is playable. It has issues, but it's fine. But
Yeah, it's playable.
It just-
it has audio issues too. Sometimes like the audio.
I never need to
pops
check
and
out
stuff
the
like that.
mobile version now, because I know the game came on a mobile, and I'm like, okay, that sounds pretty. It sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That's not the version I have. So.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they never made this game for. They never released it on like the Vita or something like that. Because I would have really or Switch.
Oh, dude.
Because I have a Switch or a Vita. That'd be fun.
So has anybody had an
wonder if
experience like the
it'll-
Wii version of the game? Because I'm kind of curious about that one.
I was
No.
at some point I was going to buy it, but like I don't know. I felt
Does
through.
it use
I know
the-
SWEGTA has some experience with that because he's been playing around with the beta versions on a development console.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A guy on Assembler Games was kind enough to sell me his old console.
Nice.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with what an RVTH is, but it's basically like a Wii playtesting debugging system.
okay.
Right.
And apparently this one, according to a sticker on the back of it, it belonged to Rockstar New York.
Awesome.
So that's kind of cool.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and it has like 3 beta builds of Bully on it, but they're all... So basically, like what Rockstar did when porting the game from the PS2 to the Wii is, for some reason, which I don't really know why, they took like a late beta build of the PS2 version and used that for the Wii.
Yeah.
So they basically took like an unfinished build and then patched it up and, you know, made it look presentable, and then sold that. Hence why you can come across like odd beta leftovers or texture issues on that version of the game, even though it's released like 2 years after the first version. Anyway, so I have like 3 beta builds of that. And it's, yeah, speaking of memory leak issues, it's very prone to that.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
thankfully
didn't you got the files off and put them on your computer, right?
Yeah, well, I shouldn't say that I did that, because,
Somebody
you know,
helped you?
yeah, actually, the main developer behind Bully Multiplayer, the modification, actually did that.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, he was kind enough to, you know, help me out, and as he did that, he gained his own interest in researching this, and he actually helped me extract a bunch of audio files, so we're looking through the files and, you know, comparing the game to the official release to see if we can find anything interesting. And thus far, we've found a lot of things, a lot of small things. For one, I actually put this up last night on my channel. It's an unreleased soundtrack from the game.
I listened to that last night, yes.
Yeah, like no one knew
really?
this existed. And by the way, I spoke to Sean Lee on Facebook like months ago, and I was like, is there any song that did not make it, or like any small beat or something? And he's like, no, everything made it. And then I find this, and I'm like, you mother...
It's kind of like asking Jerry if there's
probably just
unused
forgot.
voiceovers, though, you know? Like, it's
Yeah, of
kinda
course.
difficult, yeah.
But like, when I found this, I was like, the fuck is this? Like, and I went through every single audio file in like any build of the game I have that is non-beta, and it's absent from every single one except for the beta versions. So to hear a song like this, you know, over a decade after the first game gets released, it's just like,
Yeah, I would
whoa.
speculate that Sean Lee didn't actually compose that track. That's probably why, like, it was probably why he was speaking the truth from his end, because they probably just threw it together to show the game off at, like, trade shows and whatnot.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe,
possible.
but it definitely sounds like a lot of his other tracks in the game.
Well, well,
So,
yeah, you just forgot.
I don't know. I was just really surprised when I heard it, because like, you know, like Scholarship Edition has like new classes. You get like 4 more
yeah,
classes
yeah,
or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, and this one was meant to play during math class.
Oh.
And so like when I first heard it, I was just kind of like, okay, maybe this is just like some background noise. But then like as it faded in, I was like, wow. Okay, let me mute everything else and just enable the game audio and record this and put it up on YouTube.
I wouldn't
That's
have
awesome.
known that. I wouldn't have known it was an unused math class thing, because I never go to math class.
It makes
Me neither.
I want to like replay the game now. Now that I found my old PS2, I'm like, I don't want to play it.
Dude, you should, if you ever have the equipment and everything, you should stream it out.
Stream it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta talk to my friend John, see how we could do. See how we
And hey,
can
look.
give a stream.
You know, like I actually moderated Jerry's chat room, and I kept an eye on things. And
Yeah.
if you need any help with that, like I'd be more than happy to help out.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, just like shoot me a DM on Twitter, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Well, dude, I am down. Is there anything? Because I got about. I hate to do what Jerry's doing because I gotta get ready to do a
That's okay,
show.
that's going for a
I
while.
got like 10. Yeah, I got about maybe like 5 to 10 minutes left because I still have to
All right.
export this and then I have to upload this before I leave on my buddy's computer.
Sure,
But
sure.
what else do we have? I mean, you keep moving on with the thing.
you
You don't
know,
have to. I just
Since
want
you're
to give you a
on
heads up.
limited time, maybe just like give your final thoughts on the game and
Oh, sure. I thought so. Being a huge, I'm a huge kid. Like being a huge gamer ever since I was like a kid. Like Nintendo. You know, like being in a video game was such a dream to me because I loved gaming so much, and I still do. Like I said, I still do radio shows about gaming and comedy shows about gaming, and I have like a comedy album I'm going to be putting out that's all like about like Pokemon and like video games and stuff.
Okay.
But it's like this was such a cool. Like I remember when it was first coming out, I thought it was so like such a risk because I was like, man, it's great because people would say like you guys are saying someone's like, hey, what's Bully? And it's like, oh, it's like Grand Theft Auto in school. And it's like, school? And someone's like, oh my God, is there school shootings? And you're like, No, it's just, you know, and then they're like, well, there's no guns. You're like, no. They're like, well, then who cares? It's going to be stupid. But I thought it was like, but then when I played it, like after it came out and I got a copy, I started playing it and I was just like, I was like, this game is great. Like it was, my thoughts were just like, it was just well done. It was different. It was weird. But a lot of people were up in arms when Bully came out because they thought it was going to be a school shooting game. Like that's what people thought when it first came out. So it was kind of scary as a young voice actor when that buzz was coming around because I was like, oh no, you know,
you're
like,
connected with like school shootings and stuff like
yeah,
that.
I'm like going, I'm connected to a school shooting game, but it like, you know, completely wasn't. It wasn't like really dirty, and it didn't have like foul. Like people thought it'd be like really vicious and stuff like that. But it was just great. But
yeah,
it was
like
wild to
up.
like. Yeah, it was just wild to like play the game. It was cool to like hear my voice and you know play a mission with hearing my voice in it. It's just it's so surreal. Same with like Grand Theft Auto, like finding the pedestrian that I was, which is so, you know, like it's like yeah, might as well, I'm an extra. It just like, but it's like finding my like, you know, pedestrian to beat up or chase, but. It was cool, man. I wish they would like release. I wish they would release on the Switch so I can, you know, play it again on the go or, you know, like I said,
awesome.
Well, it's possible. Rockstar's already announced like some support for the system, so who knows?
Yeah,
well, they already released LA Noire.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Yeah.
They did, yeah. So I'm like, you know, but the weird thing about what I think of with Bully is like, I don't know in the climate, like the PC climate that we're in, and especially as a comic, I have to like deal with this. You know, I'm constantly like hearing about it and whatever. Right. But it's like, I wonder if they wouldn't even risk it because it's like a game about, you know, it's called Bully. And it's like, bullying is such, you know, it's so bad and it's so taboo now. And it's like, if you have a game where you beat up other students, like, I just don't know if, like, I guess Rockstar, they should do it because they make money. But I wonder if, like, the Nintendo or anyone else would be like, we don't want that game, you know, because it's such a, you know, is it going to start controversy like again? Is it or whatever?
Yeah.
But I felt like I said today I was playing the Mega Man collection, and I'm at my buddy's house and I was playing Mega Man 2 on my PlayStation. Dude, it's great, and I found my PlayStation 2, like my slim PlayStation 2, like the tiny one.
Yeah.
And it's dude, and we were just playing it, so I'm like, now that I found my PS2 that's here, I was like, I'm holding Bully. I'm like, I should bring this home and like. Replay it, but yeah, I think it makes more sense to stream. If I play it to stream it, because I think that has more value to it than me doing it on my own. But otherwise, I thought Bully was great. I thought it was awesome. I hope they make a sequel. That'd be rad. I honestly don't think they ever will because I just think it's too. I don't know. You know, you could do a college version, but I don't know if you know. I don't know. It was so successful for years and years and years and ported. So many times I don't see why not, except for the fact of that maybe Rockstar's like, oh, we don't want to get involved with like, you know, parents going up in arms again, being like, you know, why are you releasing a game about bullies?
Why would parents go up in arms if they buy Grand Theft Auto for their kids? Let's be
honest. I was going to say, George,
because some people are just idiots. Yeah. Some people just presume guilt on a company for making an entertainment product that just happens to be something their kids like.
Well, that actually argued that if any company is going to do it, like would be Rockstar Games, because they're the ones who are not afraid to skirt controversy. I mean, like, you know, they're the ones.
Yeah, which is
God.
Yeah, which is true. Yeah, you're probably right. So I hope they would make it for like the Switch.
The game sold very well. What was it, about like 1.5 million copies, like total? So
I mean, it did well enough. It did well enough that it was on. It was the PlayStation. Like, what is it called? The
greatest hits.
The greatest hits. I mean, it hit greatest hits. So it's like. It definitely did.
Yeah, the game's also in that book. What's that book called? Like 1,001 video games you have to play before you die, or something like that. But
I didn't know that. Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, the game's in there.
Well, I mean, on top of that, they brought back. They did the backwards compatibility for Scholarship Edition on Xbox One, and with that, they've actually been like reprinting old games like Fallout 3 and this and that. And Bully is one of those games that was reprinted, and it it says Xbox 360 and then it says Xbox One, and it's in like awesome. An Xbox One case, so it's crazy.
Yeah, you bet that version of the game sucks.
That's great. Oh no! That's cool.
It's probably better than the Wii version. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
depends on the Wii version uses the remote or not.
Oh,
Well, you know it has to, Greg. Come on.
Depends like when it came
Yeah,
out.
you
Early
get
Wii games, if they're by early Wii games, you were very like remote heavy. You know, later Wii games, they got away from that, thank God. But
Let's ask the expert, Swegta. Do you have to use the Wii remote and waggle it to play Bully?
Well, I play the builds on the Dolphin Wii emulator now, and I don't know if that's an option you can enable. I would assume so, but I just use mouse and keyboard, honestly.
Oh, that's smart. But yeah, I think that's my take on that. Is I think it was great. It's like an honor to be in this game. It's an honor to like have a community that really loves it and like to get to talk about it. Like I love video games so much. They're my favorite things. But yeah, and then like I said, I do a video game comedy show podcast like you guys do. Called Unlimited Lives Radio, and it's on the Last Podcast Network, and it's on Twitch, and it's on iTunes. We stream live Thursdays at 6, and I'm on Twitter at TJ Del Reno, and on Facebook TJ Del Reno, and then on Mixer I'm TJ Prime, and then it's really fun, and I love doing all this stuff, and I live in New York, and I do stand up all over this city. So you guys have to come and see shows and hang out, and it'll be rad. Is there anything anything else you want me to tell you before I?
No, that's it. You covered like everything.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was great. I don't really have a lot of. I told all the stories I had. I don't really have a lot of. Like I think Gerry had better stories. Like I came in, did my stuff, and left.
You all had great stories.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sweet. So, guys, you're the best.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. You trust fund turds. See ya.
See ya.
Take it easy.
All right, guys.
So yeah, I was Swegta. Did you happen to maybe make up a list of some beta content, or do you know anything off the top of your head?
And yes and no. We have a giant fucking .txt file on Pastebin.
Right.
But I don't have that up. But I could just ramble off stuff that we've found thus far.
Sure, like like anything that just really pops out, like something that was just like completely cut from the game, or I remember some of the stuff because I've obviously seen your videos. I remember things like Jimmy used to be able to drown, things like that. In one of the beta versions there was like a tow truck or something, so
yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff. There's one, I don't know, one mystery, for lack of a better word,
right.
That we've yet to figure out yet, and that is how to extract the speech files, like the voice lines. Okay. It's very difficult to do so when you're dealing with the Wii builds. And the reason I have such a keen interest on doing that is because I've noticed that some of the minor characters have slightly different voice actors. Like, I don't know if you recall, but there's an imposter Santa character that appears during Chapter 3.
Right.
Yeah, his voice actor is completely different in this version.
Wow.
And so are, like, his posse of elves. Like, some of them even use voice lines from other characters in the game.
Oh. I did.
Yeah, so like a lot of the stuff that we look at have to do with audio, like music, cutscene audio. So some of the beta versions of the Scholarship Edition exclusive cutscenes, they lack background ambiance and sound effects, so you just have the voice lines, and that's it. And it's kind of interesting to listen to it because you can hear nothing but just the characters talking. And I feel like that just kind of puts a new perspective on it, because it really just kind of strips the game down, and you see these half-finished characters awkwardly shuffling around, and the voice lines are the only thing you can hear. Right. So when it comes to audio, I feel like there's a lot to be explored. But the problem with doing that is that there's no like wiki you can look up that instructs you how to do this. This is all something that you have to figure out, and I don't have the know-how to do so. Some people that I know do, or at least somewhat, but that's really the best you can do. You can just kind of like rely on the fact that somebody may know something about this in some way. So it is a gradual project that very slowly moves forward. But as far as things we've discovered, I mean, like, as you mentioned, the tow truck, it's by far my favorite thing on this fucking planet right now. Yeah, I mean, like, there's odd things, like, there's a bunch of placeholder textures. You know, like, when you reach Chapter 3, you will start to notice, like, some windows lack proper textures. They just kind of have this, like, this odd pink, yellow, green pattern.
Right.
And the further you get into the storyline, and I think this has to do with the textures the game loads depending on the season, but when you get to, like, Chapter 4 or 5, more of these textures will appear. So the town kind of just, like, regresses back into beta mode the further you get into the game.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I find it really interesting how this is kind of like a puzzle where... Alright, here's an unused animation. What is it? It's Jimmy falling down, like, you know, backwards. Wait, this is meant to be played while he's in the water. Wait, Jimmy can drown? Okay, they used to intend that Jimmy can drown. Wait, okay, I see a connection here because you can't run out of health while you're swimming. And it's just like, this is like fucking crazy. Or like you find like one or two audio pieces where somebody's saying like, hey Jimmy, you want to buy this weapon or something like that? And it's like, oh shit, Jimmy used to be able to buy weapons off of people. And it's like, that's just so awesome that you have to put these pieces together and figure out like, oh, like they used to have this part like in this game and they took it out because they thought maybe it was just too violent or it just wasn't a good idea in general or this and that. And it's just so cool to have all like the pieces are scrambled, but you're putting them together and you're kind of creating a story here.
Yeah, it's kind of like when a poster falls off a wall and it reveals like a hole in the wall, right. You know, like they're covering something up with something to kind of distract you from the leftover of something really odd.
Right.
So the further you look into it, the more you find, and eventually you come across shit like, you know, in the beta version, Jimmy was meant to die by drowning in corrosive acid.
Ooh,
it's like,
right.
okay, that's
harsh.
something, Rockstar, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not like they really do a good job at removing the leftovers. I mean, like, you can find audio files where Edgar, the townie's leader, like, taunts Jimmy, like, specifically, like, how do you like an acid bath? Ha-ha.
Right.
Well, we know Rockstar's not
Like,
very good
under
at
what-
moving their own assets.
Oh, yeah, definitely not. I mean, like, memories come back of hot coffee.
Here. I mean, like, a lot of other development studios don't always pull out all their old content in game files. So
Most of them don't make it as easy to access, though.
But I feel like in Rockstar's case, there's like more of a reason to do so, especially when you're dealing with such a delicate subject, such as bullying or you know, Columbine Simulator, as
God.
Jack Thompson put it.
right.
You know, like when you have that topic being the center of attention, you kind of have to, you know, make sure that you don't have traces like these. And Rockstar did not really pay much attention to that, at least from what I can tell. I mean, like, you know, if they had removed some of these audio files or some of these leftovers, the game would not have been affected because they are not used for anything. They're just there to be explored, and that's it.
Right. You're taking an adventure deeper down into the depths of bully hell.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. It's a wild ride.
But like on top of that, you're not just going through game files of older builds or current builds of whatever. You know, you're also putting the pieces together on, you know, things they released in like a press kit or something like, like this is a screenshot of like version 2 of Bully or something, you know, where like, you know, the dorms were different and Jimmy had more of like a sinister look and, you know, the game looked more like a cartoon, like, you know, stuff like that. And that's really cool in itself.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of where a lot of people began doing that. You know, people like the Nathan NS or Deadpool XYZ, Simon Bestia, the shit that I do. We all kind of came from the same community, which was Bullyboard back in the day. And people would post these huge fucking threads where they would have like heated discussions about what Bully would have been like, and they would bring, you know, their evidence and put it against somebody else's and be like, you're wrong because you're stupid and here's why. And it would be like this really heated thing. And I never saw, I never really got why that would have to be the case. I try to make my videos fun and kind of not really that serious.
Right.
But that's kind of the environment that shaped some of my videos, is the fact that I constantly paid attention to this. The website has been long dead, but, you know, that's kind of where people began juxtaposing old promotional screenshots and shit like that with the final game.
Right.
Even back in the PS2 days, people would do this. They would be like, what about this character? Who's this? You know, like Bob or whoever the fuck. So I feel like it's kind of interesting to see how it went from people arguing on a forum to people making videos. And I don't know what the next step is going to be, if there is one, but I'm hoping that it's going to be something more interesting than that.
What do you think is your most surprising find? Like some kind of feature or something in the beta?
Okay, so, how the fuck do I put this?
It must be really good if you don't even know what to say.
Well, let me put it this way. So, a while back, in like mid-2017 or maybe even 2016,
Right.
I sat down after completing the game and I saw like all these names scroll past, you know, the end credits. And I thought to myself, why don't I just Google all of these names and see if I can find some unreleased information? Like, I could do that. I have the time, I have the dedication, I have the lack of a proper life to do that. So let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I did. And I found a lot of interesting stuff, at least interesting in my opinion. And one of the things that I found, and I don't know how he feels about me saying his name, but he's open about it, and it's on his website, and it's displayed in his portfolio. So I went to Jared Fry's website. He's one of the people who worked on a lot of the character models.
Okay.
And when you look at his portfolio, he doesn't showcase like the latest Scholarship Edition whatever version images. He showcases like these mid to maybe late development screenshots of characters that he made. And in these screenshots, he would showcase like their alternative models. Like, you know, you would have the jocks, and next to them you would have like the same people but in their football gear.
Right.
And with a lot of the female characters, you had basically underwear models. You know, and some of them were like really erotic. And when I found this, I was like, did I stumble upon some fucked up fanfic? What is this? And I contacted Gerry Fry, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm a huge fan of this game, and I like what you did with the characters, but I'm documenting this for just personal interest, and I'm wondering, like, if you could elaborate on what these character models were meant for. And he basically just told me, like, oh, well, you know, my contract with Rockstar has yet to expire, and I can't talk about that.
Oh, damn.
And that was the end of it. And he actually told me, like, you know, if you want more information, you should try to find, like, the oldest issue of the Bully Game Informer, you know, coverage.
Oh.
I never got it. I do have one issue, but it's, like, the later one out of the two. I know Nathan has the oldest one, and he put up some images of that. Which also contains a lot of interesting beta stuff too. Apparently you could flip people the bird in the beta.
Oh, dude, that would make so much sense.
So nobody
in my
scanned that
game.
issue? They can put it like online yet?
That's a good question.
Maybe somebody has, but I know he just kind of took some, you know, photos with his phone, and that was really it.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it wasn't out there like by now. People have been doing a great job of the thing about archiving that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely, and especially the folks at the cutting room floor.
awesome
They
stuff.
do a
Yeah,
terrific
they
job
do.
at that. But anyway, yeah, I asked him about this, and you know, he refused to comment. But you know, like I know Beatrice had like a, you know, kind of like BDSM-esque or like dominatrix corset thing going on. And I was just kind of like, there has to be some intent behind making this. You don't just make this and put it up in your portfolio and then just go like,
Right, or that just makes it seem creepy if you just randomly did it out of nowhere. Like,
and I think that Jared Fry, I don't know him personally, but I think that he's just an artist who's good at what he does, and he did something that Rockstar wanted, and he really can't comment on what it was meant for, because he doesn't have that ability, at least, you know, from what he tells me.
Well, hopefully he can speak soon.
Well, it depends.
I would not
work for
very
Atari back
interesting.
in the day in the 80s, who even though their NDAs expired long ago, they still don't feel comfortable talking about it. They forget about the fact the contract's been fighting with them for years. That they're like, yeah, I still don't know if I might get in trouble like for saying anything about this. I better keep my mouth shut. So,
It's interesting.
Maybe, but
And also, like, consider the context. I mean, like, let's say you make this, and then you have to, like, be the one guy who everybody looks towards for an explanation. I mean, like, maybe you don't want to be that person. Maybe you just want to brush it off as, like, oh, I can't talk about this.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, like, that's just speculation on my part. I'm not going to say that he actually said anything of that, anything like that, but that's what I would assume is the case. Because, I mean, like, the Bully was made over a decade ago.
Yes.
So I find it hard to believe that he still lacks the ability to even talk to me privately about this. I mean, like, what's gonna happen? Is Rockstar gonna just sue because he mentioned something briefly to a fan who found his fucking portfolio and asked him to, like, elaborate on it? I mean, like, at which point does it just become some nonsense that somebody made up? And I don't know if that's the case, but I would venture a guess and say that, yeah, that probably is the case, but I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna leave him alone, you know, because it's his call to make, really. But that's like one of many things that people have just looked at and wondered, like, what the fuck? What is this? Surely there must have been some purpose behind making this. Apparently not. Apparently we will never
weird.
know.
Yeah, right?
Maybe it's like fuel for the fanfics.
Oh god, I don't even want to know.
Yeah, me neither.
And then Jimmy took the firecracker and...
I have people who will on occasion send me fanfics and be like, please read this.
Oh,
It's like, I'm not gonna do that.
We need to get
They're like,
Gerry for this.
Yeah, they're like, you know, it's like Yaoi inspired, but please read it. I'm like, I don't want to fuck off. I don't want to do this.
I think if we had Gerry read any of that, he would cut contact with all of us.
I think he would just like block us and file a restraining order. Like,
I mean, it would be
like, stay
easy for
away.
you. And next thing you know, I'm going to TJ's gig or something, and then Jerry says, like, oh shit, I got a restraining order. I can't.
You just hang out. You just, you know, stay outside the pub or whichever location
I'm
they're
looking through the
performing
window.
at.
Whoa, yeah, that was a good one, TJ.
Just peeking in, you know, you do the thing where like you kind of like inhale on the glass and use your like shirt to, you know, rub away the dust and peek through.
Oh god.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to remember because, like, you know, I played a lot of this when I was younger, and I think I actually remember somehow, like, finding all the rubber bands and making the rubber band ball and just playing with that, and it's like, really? Did I really go around the whole world looking for all the rubber bands? And then I realized, like at least 75% of those rubber bands are actually really easy to find. So, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I actually, like, at the time, my grandfather had actually given me, like, an actual rubber band ball.
Oh, and you started breaking the windows with it. Started throwing it
No,
everywhere.
sadly, this was just like a pile of fucking shit. Like, I was so disappointed because I was like, in this game, this thing is like bouncing all over the place and wrecking havoc.
Oh, it's a fucking OP weapon, yeah.
It is. It's badass. But then when I look at like an actual rubber band ball, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
It's not big enough, yeah.
Yeah, like randomly, I would just be asleep and I would hear like noises just randomly, and I would notice that, you know, the rubber bands were like, you know, tearing over time. So not only would this thing just be in my room collecting dust, but it would fucking wake me up at like 5 a.m.
It's a good alarm clock.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck this. Give me the thing from Bully instead.
Right. Yeah. But Bully has some interesting like locations because there's some like areas that are kind of hidden away. Like you have to go and swim and find them, and you find. What is it? Isn't there like an area where you find some pirate or something, and there's like a treasure chest or something like that?
Yeah, actually, if you pay close attention to that character, you will actually notice that that's a greaser.
Really?
It's Vance Medici or Medici. Basically what they did is, during Halloween, he dresses up as a pirate. They took that model and reused it for this one hidden thing.
Yeah, that's funny. It's just the weirdest thing, because you're swimming for like 5 minutes, and then you find this island, and then you find him.
And he just attacks you with a ruler, and that's what you get.
Yeah. That's... Here you go, motherfucker. You just spent 5 minutes doing nothing. But yeah, this is a fun game.
I don't know, I like shit like that. I think it's cool when the developers put in, like, something that encourages exploration. You know, like the environment is not just there to make you feel like you have background scenery. It's actually something you're meant to look around.
Right. I think my favorite part is more of the behind-the-scenes stuff where, like, you know, sometimes games have, like, if you clip out of the game through, like, console commands or something, and, you know, like, you're watching a cutscene or something, and then you, like, go under the world or something, and you find, like, a bunch of models, you know, loaded up, or just random textures or something, and it's like, what's the story behind this? You know, like, why is, you know, so-and-so's model here? They're not even in this mission, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a lot of odd stuff like that. I mean, I don't know if this is just really like the same thing, but I know that, maybe not Nathan, but I know Deadpool and Simon Bestia have been looking into, like, the animation files. They look into which models were meant to be used and, you know, in which ways. And they found, like, odd leftovers. Like, apparently there was another version of the mission, the candidate. But instead of Damon and Yuri in the cutscene, you would have, like, Bo and Kirby.
Oh.
I have no idea why Rockstar would plan that, but apparently they considered it.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that, you know, like, different camera angles and shit like this. I guess that they're just, like, really prone to copy-pasting and just keeping that around in case something goes south.
You know, even just, like, the stuff that is in the game, you know, when you start a mission up, it's not always the same dialogue. I mean, like, the cutscene it is, but, you know, when you start up a mission, like, it's not always the same dialogue, you know. Sometimes you get different pieces, or maybe something changes in the mission, but, you know, most of the time you'll finish a mission within the first try, so you don't get to hear or see all the different changes.
Yeah. I don't know if this really is the case, but I feel like the PlayStation 2 version, or at least like the classic edition of it, actually has more lines to offer. Because if you compare a lot of boss fights to the PS2 version, you'll notice that, you know, bosses like, the people you're fighting, like Ernest, he will have more lines to use on that original version of the game than in the later builds. I don't know why, but it seems like Rockstar has reduced at least some lines, which is kind of disappointing because they're all interesting.
I never got far in the newer versions, so I wouldn't really know. I finished and played a lot of the PS2 version, so, but yeah, it's crazy, you know. We didn't even talk about, like, a lot of parts of the game, but it's just so much here, you know. Like, you have the whole, like, punishment system when you get caught by a prefect, where, you know, eventually you have to start mowing the football field and stuff like that, or shoveling the snow. You know, shoveling the snow, actually, I did not know that was a thing when I first played through the game, because I never got in trouble during the like, winter sequence.
Yeah, me neither. I never noticed that. Actually, I think I looked it up like on the wiki, and they're like, I'm like, what the fuck is this snow shoveling shit?
Right. And I actually went through the game, or partially went through the game again, around the time that I beat it, and I actually did get caught by a prefect, and you know, there's that snow shoveling. It's like, oh shit, I did not know that. So there's so much to this game that you can play through it and then realize that there's X amount more content that you missed, you know. I fucked up when I was playing on PS4, and I missed out on the big prank mission during Halloween, which is a shame. I mean, I've played through it on PS2 before, so I know what's going on. But when I was streaming it, I totally missed it because I was stupid and I thought I needed to go to sleep, and then I missed it. But the game doesn't even let you know that. It's like, oh, here's a mission, and then it's like you go to sleep, and it's like, yeah, that mission's not there anymore. Fuck you. So
yeah, the way Rockstar described that mission is very misleading.
Yeah,
I think it's something along the lines of, and I don't recall it verbatim, obviously, but it's something like, you know, this mission is only available on Halloween, so you would be led to believe like, oh, okay, so there's gonna be another Halloween when I can do this again.
Yeah, right.
No, you only get one shot at this one fucking mission.
I think that kind of sucks too, like being able to miss a mission out like that. Like, sure, it's optional, but I feel like it's an important mission because it kind of plays into, like, if you miss that mission, you kind of miss a part of Gary, because you know, that's a Gary mission basically, where he's having you you know, get the dog to shit in the bag, or just shit in general, I think. And then you put it in the bag, and then you set it up for the teachers, you know. You're kind of missing a part of the whole Gary thing, because, you know, I think it's, like, right after Chapter 1 ends, like, you don't really see Gary after that, am I right?
No, you're right.
Well, you do on occasion, but it's not often.
Yeah,
right.
Like, during the eggs, you know, like, he appears at the end of that mission, and he turns the preps against you.
Right. Yeah, it just, there's the whole boxing thing, which is pretty cool. It's like a kind of like an arcadey type of thing.
Yeah, it's reminiscent of like classic boxing games like Punch-Out.
Right. You know, it's just so much. You know, the different. Oh, so you know what? This just popped into my head. When I first, or not when I first played this game, but like around the time that I was like really into playing this game on PS2, I found a really interesting glitch. And you know, this was the era where phones didn't really have great cameras in them, and they didn't really have, you know, like you couldn't really record much with them, and you know, I was too young to really have a cell phone in general. So like, it's hard to, you know, kind of prove that it happened, but you know, if it happened now, like I would definitely have a recording of it. But I got the moped, the scooter from the carnival, and I was driving around, just fucking around, and it was like almost, you know, it was almost at that point where Jimmy would just pass out because it was too late. And I was driving around, and I was on the football field fucking around, and I rammed into that little hideout, the equipment shack or whatever it is. I rammed into that right at the same point where Jimmy falls asleep. So like what happened was the moped like fucking bounced away and like acted like I crashed, but Jimmy was still sitting on something invisible and he was just sitting there. And then he eventually fell asleep and woke up, and the moped was there, and you know, his shoes were missing and all that. And it was just like the weirdest thing ever, because the controller was vibrating violently.
By the way, you gotta love that, because it basically implies that somebody saw this kid who just like passed out because he just slammed into a wall on a moped, and they're like, let me steal his shoes.
Right. It's so weird. I think I might have also like ran out of health. There's so many like variables there that just like, I'm sure it was just like, this is too much to handle, we're just gonna fuck up and do this or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, that was just like, I think that was like the only glitch I really found in the game. And like recreating it is like, you know, the most difficult thing ever. You probably have a better time finding the most hidden content in the game before you recreate that glitch,
Yeah.
But yeah, this game plays great. It runs great on the PS2, from what I remember. Not on the PS4 though.
Yeah, and the graphics are pretty good for PS2 in this time period, I thought. I mean,
yeah. So I was talking to Gerry last night because we were doing a little test thing because he just created a Skype account. He never really used it. And, we were making sure the microphone worked and we were working out recording stuff and everything. And I told him, I don't know if many people tell you this, but, you kind of sound like when you did the voiceovers, but, you don't at the same time. And I think the reason is because the voiceovers were compressed to shit on the PS2. It's you can tell, yeah, that's Gerry, but it kind of, sort of does not sound like him. Because you get the compression in the audio and it sounds a little different, and on top of that, he's acting as Jimmy. He has the attitude, and knowing Gerry, Gerry does not have that kind of punk attitude. Jerry's a very nice guy, so it's interesting to just hear a voice actor's voice, just being them,
right?
On top of all the other things. I'm trying to think. I don't think I really have anything else to say about the game. It's a great game. It's something that if people haven't played before, definitely should play, because it's just...
Yeah, that's a given. We've been talking about this game for 3 hours. I mean,
yeah, right?
We can't just sit here and be like, this game sucks, don't play it.
Well, we've had episodes before where we've played bad games, and it's just we talked about the game for maybe half an hour or something, and then the rest of it was just nonsense. So,
yeah.
But we had Gerry on, we had TJ on, and they were talking about their experiences doing voice acting and whatnot. That was awesome. So I'm glad that we can have you three guys on here.
Yeah.
To have some input, especially you, because be like, oh, what's that mission where this happens and that and you're like, oh, it's this mission, this is the name of the mission, this is what happens, this is the cast of characters that's in that mission. It's great to have somebody who knows what they're talking about on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I've had people asking me, how can you remember all this? It's I've been speedrunning this game on and off for years now. Of course I'm going to remember it.
Wait, so what's your best
I
time
wanted to talk
speedrunning
about that too. He used to have the world record.
Oh, he did?
Who?
You used to have the world record, correct? For a day or something? No?
Me?
Yes? No?
Oh, I thought you were asking your co-host.
No, you. Sorry.
Confusion. Anyway, yeah, so I got world record for a day.
Okay.
Because what happened is I got it, and then the other guy who's was competing with me at the time, we're not friends, but we have mutual respect.
Right.
So it was kind of friendly competition. He got that, no more than 24 hours later. I was celebrating on Twitter, and I was retweeting people, and I was I'm gonna go to sleep, and then I wake up and I'm everything's good, and then by the end of that day, it's anything you celebrated is obsolete now.
How much did he beat
He's
you by?
beaten your
Yeah, how
time.
many times we're talking about here?
I think it was 1 or 2 minutes.
What?
Something like that, which is really
Wow.
difficult to regain or beat when it comes to a game like this, because it's such a long fucking game.
Just glitches and bugs?
I mean, you keep refining your route until you have an ideal way of beating the game as quickly as possible. You just have to continuously find new ways, and there's plenty of people behind the scenes who I owe a lot of credit to. Adam Speedruns, what the fuck? David Arnold. I don't remember his fucking username, but David Arnold. He was the original bully speedrunner of the day back in 2009 or 2010.
Do you remember what the world record is currently?
I hold it now on any percent on PC.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I could look it up now if you want. Brought to you by Google Chrome. Let's see. Real time 2 hours 35 minutes 9 seconds. In game time 2 hours 37 minutes 34
Very
seconds.
nice.
That's really quick.
Yeah, very impressive.
And by the way, this is 23 seconds faster than the guy who beat me. So he could beat this if given enough time. He could do that.
Right.
He's
right.
really good at this.
Well, next thing you know, there's a skip in that bitch or something where instead of delivering the notes, you just take a bike and you fly across the world and then you beat the game. You know, like, cause
yeah, and maybe you like bunny hop onto the roof and just kick Gary's ass immediately.
right, like, cause like if you pay attention to like summoning salt or whatever, it's like, yeah, the speed run used to be like 10 hours long until we found the skip that cut it down to 2 minutes.
Have you seen the GTA Vice City speedruns?
No, I haven't.
Because that's a prime example of that.
So, yes, that's really funny because today I actually sent out an email to one of the runners, KZ Fru, to see if he would come on and talk about Vice City and speedrunning. So that's really funny that you brought that up. But yes, I've seen his run, or I've seen a few of his runs where he did the Japanese PC version, and it's just a fucking mess. And you know, apparently the Japanese version is also technically the most like bug-free or whatever, but apparently there's just like one thing in there that just broke the game and it really cut down the time. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I mean, like,
if you haven't seen that,
it's
if you haven't seen the Vice City PC Japanese speedrun, you really need to, because what they do is just amazing. They use like the replay function or whatever to like warp themselves back and forth. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. They've begun doing something a bit similar on San Andreas. You know, now they can do mission duping.
Oh, okay.
But it's far from Vice City. Like, Vice City has just gone insane.
San
Like,
Andreas speedruns, they're long.
Dude, a couple of years ago, I used to like wait for these Vice City streams to begin, and I would just like, you know, have them on like my second monitor and just like casually watch them.
Right.
Now they're just so fucking quick that they're just like YouTube videos. You know, you just find them and it's like, you know, here's me beating the game in like 5 minutes. It's like, okay, this used to be like a thing I could relax to, but now it's just a thing.
Yeah, speedrunning is like weird because now you have like people who like do jokes where like some shitty game nobody knows about. It's like, oh yeah, I beat it in like 5 minutes, I got world record. And it's like, you know, they're doing it just to be funny. They're not like doing it for like, oh, I got the world record. But it's just like, dude, nobody wants to play that fucking game, so you can have the world record for it.
Yeah, but like I know some people like that, and while I don't have any interest in doing that, I mean, to them, you know, it's just fun. They do it for the lulz, really.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're doing if you're doing speedrunning to be like the best in the world and stuff, it's like maybe you don't fully understand, you know, what speedrunning is, because it's just like, it's a process. You have to love that game to be able to play the same segments over and over and over again. Yeah,
either that or the game has to be a meme, like the B-movie game or some shit.
God.
But yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, like, I don't fault people when it comes to their motivations. If they want to just be on top of the leaderboards and get some attention, I mean, you know, that's not necessarily what I want. I mean, I enjoy that.
It's not illegal, and we will not stop you, but it's just like, it's kind of looked down on.
Yeah, it's kind of like there's, you know, you could be experiencing more than this. You know, there's more to it than just attention, really. Right. You know, it's playing a game and connecting with people. That's kind of it. But I mean, like, I don't know. If some person has that as their sole motivation, then I don't feel like I'm in any position to frown upon it, really. Because, I mean, like, who the fuck am I to dictate what motivations this person should have? I don't have any ground to stand on, as far as that goes. And I don't think anybody does, in all honesty. Because it's subjective.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like I said, it's not illegal. You're gonna really force your views onto somebody that's Don't, at least not yet, right?
Yeah.
Stop right there, criminal scum. You're being arrested for speed running.
You
without
violated
having
Section
fun.
38. You've broken Rule 39C, like Section 8.
Speed running without wanting to really play the game. Speed running.
You're going
for
to
the glory.
online jail, punk.
He lost it all when he sped run for glory.
They throw you like in the internet drunk cell.
Yeah. So, what else can we say about this game?
I mean, like, there's some Bully 2 stuff we could talk about if you want.
Sure. Yeah. Because we did talk a little bit. Did we talk? Was that during the podcast? I don't even remember now. We did talk.
We kind of quickly talked about it, but we never like got far into it. It was just kind of like, wouldn't it be cool if they made a second game? Yeah. Anyway, like we just kind of moved
Well,
on.
there have been plenty of like rumors and speculation like over the years. Like I said, the most recent thing was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Is that the art leak? Is that what that
Yeah,
was?
the art leak.
Yeah. So a user named GTA Fan Club, also known as Bully 2 Info, also known as Red Dead whatever 2 Info. He's the one behind these leaks.
Also known as
he's not the person who
Infowars.
yeah. They're turning the fucking games gay. Or whatever. I don't know the quote offhand, but you know the reference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so he leaked some images, and I actually had I had an opportunity to talk to him about that. And I was gonna make this into a video, but I was just kind of like, I don't have sufficient material to make this into a full video, so I might as well just talk about it now. Or at least some of it. I asked him to elaborate on the origin of it, and of course he's like, I cannot do that.
Of course
I'm like, okay,
not.
shit, well... Yeah, I'm like, okay, well, can you, like, when are these leaks from? Because, as you may recall, back in 2009, or 2010, or whenever, Sean Lee mentioned that Rockstar had approached him with with like an offer of like, hey, do you want to make the soundtrack for Bully 2? And he stood by that. He still stands by it, at least to my knowledge. So I wanted to see like if these alleged leaks are from around that time, could there be some credibility to Sean's statement or maybe these leaks?
Right.
And as it turns out, at least like from what he tells me, from what GTA Fan Club had to say, they came from roughly 8 to 5 years ago.
Wow.
So around 2010 or so. So I'm thinking if they are legit, then Sean's statement is all the more believable. I don't see why he would lie. I don't see any reason for that, because it seems to me that Rockstar may have rebuked him for mentioning that in passing, because they like to keep things on the down low. And like recently there was an actor in Red Dead Redemption 2 who put up like on his resume, on his online resume, like, hey, I portray this reoccurring character in Red Dead Redemption 2. And immediately he pulled it from his site, and he just won't comment on it. So it's obvious that Rockstar are willing to contact these people and be like, hey, stop this fucking shit.
Right.
So I feel like they maybe did the same thing with Sean Lee, but I don't know if they really did, because it seems like he's just kind of sticking to it, like, I don't know, that's what they said. I don't know, there's a lot of things you could speculate about, but if they are legit, which they may be, I don't know, I'm on the fence about that. I'm just looking at all the information that I have at my disposal, which is barely fucking any.
What if Rockstar already made Bully 2, but they never released it?
See, that's a theory that a close friend of mine
course,
has.
really?
Yeah, and this guy tells a lot of tall tales, but he also has... He's made a bunch of claims that he actually has corroborated in the past, so he's full of surprises. But he claims that he has connections at Rockstar. And I've known this guy since the Bully Board days. We're good friends, and although I take almost anything he says with a grain of salt, I do think that there's at least sincerity when he tells me this.
Sometimes that grain of salt grows into a beanstalk. Giant
Yeah,
one.
sometimes. And you can climb it, build a tree fort or some shit.
That would be
But
an
anyway,
interesting story.
That would be. And then he gets like a fine because he doesn't have a building permit. Anyway, so I spoke to, and he's gonna remain nameless because I don't know how he feels about being named, but let's call him Bill. So Bill told me that he has connections at Rockstar that inform him about the current ongoings at Rockstar, at least like some of the studios. And from what he has told me, they have been working on and off on Bully 2, but it has been stuck in development hell.
That makes sense.
Kind of like... Yeah, it's kind of like Tool's latest album. It's like, it may happen, but it's maybe not gonna happen because it just keeps getting rearranged and postponed and shit.
Right.
But that's what I've heard. And I've also heard that the reason why a beta version of Bully, like the original PS2 version, hasn't leaked is because they destroyed all copies of it. Which, I mean, people still would have them on their computers or like on a file server or something. Right. So I don't know the validity of that claim, but I mean, like he's full of surprises. I'm not going to tell you to believe him or not, but he's told me a lot of stuff like that, and I think it's interesting because at the end of the day, like he really has about the same credibility as any person posting alleged leaks. When you really think about it, because it's one person's word against, people questioning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's just like so many questions that may or may not be answered.
But when it comes to credibility, there actually is one person who I don't know when this happened, maybe like 2017, early 2017. I spoke to Jan2295. And like we follow each other on Twitter and shit like that. So, occasionally I'll pay attention to what's going on in the GTA community, and I don't know if you're familiar with this guy, but he's pretty well known in the Rockstar fanbase circles. Yeah, he's he has a good track record. It's not flawless, mind you, but it's really good thus far when it comes to upcoming Rockstar updates in GTA Online and GTA 5. And it seems like there's at least credibility to be taken into account. But he made the claim that Bully 2 is going to be Rockstar's next game after Red Dead Redemption 2, which I don't know if that's the case. It seems to me like they might be focusing on Agent, which... Why?
Oh,
but
that's right, that fucking game, they never canceled it, right? It was supposed to
I
be
don't
that
know,
PS3 exclusive, like, James Bond-esque type of game or something.
Yeah, I have a friend who I shit you not loves Bully.
Right.
But she's like, they should make that instead of Bully 2. It's like, even the developers of this game are unsure of the game even being good enough to be released. Like, are you really gonna give it that much? Okay, then. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, like, I'm really... Because, like I said, I don't think they ever canceled that game. I would be really interested in seeing what that was, because it was like they were working with Sony, and it was like, Sony contracted them or something. I'm not 100% sure. But, like, it was supposed to be like some kind of PS3 exclusive,
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
I don't know. I would play it if Rockstar released it, but between that and Bully 2, I think it's obvious what I would pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I spoke to Jan2295, and he made the claim that Rockstar's gonna make Bully 2, and it seems as though while not all of his speculation and his claims have been valid at the end of it, like eventually these updates come, and sometimes he's wrong, sometimes he's right. More often than not, he's actually right. And he actually has several sources, so there might be like conflicting information, but I'm kind of inclined to believe him, honestly, just based on his track record. And like I don't know the guy really, but to me it seems like he's actually being somewhat honest, at least. He can only say so much about these things before risking getting in deep shit. Because I mean, like, if you have a title like Bully 2 and you spill the beans to the public, then Rockstar's gonna take action. So
yeah, I guess with this kind of stuff, you just gotta wait and see.
Yeah, you just gotta graze the hornet's nest, not poke it.
Yeah. Don't put it in your mouth. No. What are you doing? No, stop. Oh God.
Plus, that's the question, like, about, like, you know, which branch of the company would Rockstar want to develop the game, because Rockstar Vancouver's been shut down since then. So it's like, you know, like, do you give it to which branch of the company to work
Toronto
on?
can do it.
What? Sorry?
Toronto. Wait, Toronto's still around, right?
Yeah, actually,
I think so.
I think that what happened was that Rockstar Vancouver merged with another studio, and
Toronto.
Okay, yeah.
and they became Rockstar Toronto. Yeah. So I mean, like, you know, the employees, at least most of them, are still there. So I don't see why. You know, so what? Like, they're under a different name now. I mean, like, what does that mean?
Right.
You know, they're still like, you know, obviously by now people have come and gone, but I would venture, I guess, and say that at least half of the employees from back then are still employed. So I don't see why people would want to give up on a franchise that they spend so much time and energy and effort and creativity making a reality by making a game just spontaneously. Like, hey, let's make a game called Bully. Right. I've heard some people claim that Bully was made because Rockstar wanted to, like, earn back the money they had to spend on defending their name, you know, when it came to the hot coffee lawsuits. I don't know if there's any validity to that claim, but yeah, and you know, the claim elaborates on, like, how Rockstar were just, like, surprised that Bully even sold well. But you know, when you listen to, like, interviews with Dan Houser or Sam I consider them one human being. Who gives a fuck? Okay, that's unfair, but I'm terrible with names. Yeah, I envisioned, like, the thing, you know, like the two body human thing. Anyway, this is not going well.
Are you sure? I'm really enjoying myself with this.
I'm gonna be expecting a knock on my door from, like, Rockstar lawyer team.
Lawyer? No, they're just gonna, like, wait till you're not expecting it, and they're just gonna be like, chloroform, bitch! And then you're just gonna wake up in their head, like, the basement of their headquarters. What did you say?
I hear like a bang on my door. I just look over and, you know, like a flashbang just flies into my room. Like,
we heard what you said.
That's what I get for besmirching Sam and Dan Houser, even though I can't tell them apart. Anyway, yeah, I think it was Dan Houser. He, you know, in interviews, he stated that, he really likes the franchise, you know, and he has a lot of ideas for where to take it, and even back in development, he had a lot of ideas. And to me, it seems like either he's being dishonest, or the people making the claim about Rockstar not really being interested in the game in the first place are being dishonest. And I would much rather trust the people who actually make the game than some anonymous source online. I mean, judge that as you will, but
yeah,
that's just how I see it.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that.
Yeah. Anyway, I gotta take off in about 10 minutes.
Alright, so let's just wrap up here. It's a good game. Alright.
Well,
we've established this, yes.
Yeah, just to give my, just to give my closing thoughts on the game, because this is really the first time I've actually, like, sat down and played it. Like everybody else, I hadn't touched this game until the flight for the podcast, except for the brief exposure I had with it, like, my friend's house, like, several years ago.
Well, Gerry never played it until the beginning of last year.
Well,
so.
yeah. So, but yeah, more recent than that.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, the game's a lot of fun. I think I probably would have enjoyed it more back then than I did now, because I think some parts of it have not aged like particularly well. But
I can see that.
Yeah, like the game's engine.
Yeah. Oh god.
So let's put out a disclaimer. If you're playing on Windows 10, keep in mind that the game will more than likely perform really terribly.
I'm never playing the PC version again then.
Some people have claimed that there are fixes for it. Some people claim there are no fixes. I don't know. I just use Windows 7.
All over the place, apparently, with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is. I think it has to do with drivers or something like that, but who knows. Anyway, so if you're using Windows 10, maybe keep in mind that, you know, you could use Steam Refund if it doesn't work out. Just a thought.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
So yeah. Anyway, this game, like I said before in the podcast, this game really does remind me a lot about other Rockstar games, look and feel, but the content is different enough that certainly like highly recommend it. The game has a certain charm to it, even though it's kind of like rough, like of the story. Well, the story of the characters are very good. That's what I meant by rough. It's like you're doing rough things in the game. So, which is typical Rockstar games, but it's so different enough from their other stuff that it still feels unique. Really, the thing I had, really for me, the weakest part of the game was the mini games. I did not like the mini games one bit. I thought they were dull and tedious.
Which ones are you talking
All of
about?
them.
Oh.
I did not like them at all. They're like, what is this crap? This sucks, but...
Even photography?
Yes, even photography. And
photography is annoying.
Yeah.
The class is annoying because it's like, go run around.
Yeah,
and
but
take these
it has like a
pictures.
killer theme. I
the
can
music
forgive
in the
it
game
for
is
just
awesome,
like the theme
sure,
song.
But George knows I like photography games, but suppose you've covered a photography game in the past. But just like there's just no the mini games just feel tacked onto the games. Never thought well, we have to do some more stuff here to connect the tissue. Let's throw in some crappy mini games. So, but yeah.
Yeah, Consumo comes to mind.
Yeah, but flaws aside, this is a very fun game. I mean, certainly, you can tell Rockstar certainly put a lot of thought and polish into this. Like, it's very well designed, and most of the flaws of the game are just because of, and most of the issues I had in the game was just because of playing the PS4. But anybody who's not played this game, I certainly recommend it. It sounds like the mobile version of the game may be the best version to check out.
Probably.
Yeah, I definitely want to get out a look.
Yeah, it's great. So,
I would say play it on Windows 7 if you want like the ideal experience.
I don't have Windows 7 anymore.
Who does?
Yeah, well, I'm stuck in the past, so
okay. Look at you.
I mean, hey, I'm making videos about a game that's like 12 years old, so what do you expect?
Yeah, right? You might as well just use Windows XP. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's the hip new thing.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's doing it.
They do have a 64-bit version for it, so it's possible.
Wait, they do?
Oh yeah. It was like a big thing when it first came out. I actually have I forget what magazine it is, but I actually have a magazine covering it Windows XP 64-bit, yeah. This is before Vista, so.
Oh god.
Yeah, Windows Vista, yeah.
The only thing I liked about Vista was the fact that it looked better, but it performed like shit.
Oh, so you mean you like Windows 7? That's literally what Windows 7 is. It looks better. It's Vista with some more visual enhancements, and it's great.
Well, I mean, there's more to it than that. I mean, it performs a bit better than Vista.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
I thought you were just talking about how it looks.
No, yeah, it runs much better. Yeah. Anyway, just to wrap this up quickly, we'll go over prices and then do a closing and get the fuck out of here. So, this game goes for the PS2 between 99 cents and $40.68. For the 360, $8.10, all the way up to $21.16. The Xbox One re-release, I found only one copy, I think, for $40.74, which is interesting. The Wii goes between $6.99 to $27. They're selling it on the PS4 for $15, and the mobile ports are $7.
And keep in mind that you can actually get it for €9.99 on Steam.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Oh, yeah, that's right. I didn't look up the Steam. Whoops. Oh, well.
Yeah, George actually alerted me to
I got your back, bro.
About a couple months ago. They were having it on sale on the PSN, so we got the game for half off.
Yeah, I told them not to get the PC version. I said either emulate the PS2 version.
No, I knew the PC
buy it
version
on
had
PS4.
issues, so I wasn't gonna check that version out anyway.
Yeah. So, before we do the closing, anybody have anything else to say quickly?
Yeah, I mean, just a final thought. I think people who even don't like other Rockstar games may find this game to be unique enough to give it a look, because the content, because the subject matter is so unique, and you're not going around really shooting anybody or doing any. Well, you're doing psychological harm to people, but
but you're kissing girls and boys.
But yeah,
that's gonna scar me mentally.
So that's my final thought.
All right.
Yeah, I too like this game. This game is good.
Oh, you have the world record and you like this game?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That's a good game to have a world record in, honestly.
I would think so.
It's like, yeah, like one of your favorite games. Like, here you go.
All right, with that, I thank you, SWEGTA, for coming on. I thank Gerry, and I thank TJ. It was awesome having you guys on. And, of course, you guys are always welcome back for another game to cover if you have anything you're interested in covering. We do PlayStation 2, if I didn't tell you that already. And,
yeah, sweet. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, you're welcome on basically any time. So, thanks to everybody for listening. If you're interested in backing us on Patreon, you can do so. Patreon.com/theboxfort, patreon.com/theboxfort. If you're not subscribed to us, you can do so on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and I'm sure the podcast is in random websites I don't know about. That's a thing that we talked about before, I believe. Anyway, we have a Facebook group if you'd like to find us there. Just look up PlayStation Power. I'm on Twitter at Mr. Chief. That is at MISTURCHEEF. You can also find me on YouTube, Twitch, Smashcast, Ustream. The same name, same spelling. If you'd like to get in contact with us, you can email PlayStationPower@theboxfort.net. That is PlayStationPower@THEBOXFORT.net. SWEGTA, where can we find you?
You can find me at youtube.com/SWEGTA. I own a bully website called bullymods.net. And if it is okay, I would like to plug my Patreon as well.
Go ahead.
Alright, I'm actually doing like private streams of beta playthroughs, like casual, just talking to chat, showing off some beta stuff and just having fun. For that, you just need to give $1 and that's it, you gain entry. It's all good and fun.
Awesome. And Greg?
Well, beyond the other places that George mentioned, we also have a Facebook page. Please check us out on there and leave a comment or give us any suggestions or feedback. Also like reviews on iTunes, that can be like most welcome. And if you want to email me directly, you can also email me at the email that I use for the other podcast that George and I do together, the Super NES podcast, at the Super NES. At the SNES podcast at yahoo.com. Over a year doing this, I don't get the email address right.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so like Greg said, we do SNES podcast. I also do Master System Masterpieces and The Box Fort. SWEGTA, you don't do any podcasts, do you?
Not anymore. I used to be on a podcast called The Deep Vikings, but that's long dead. I am considering opening up a new podcast, but that's on hold for now, so maybe keep an eye open. I don't know.
Or an ear open.
Yeah, an ear. Or two.
Or 5. I don't know how many ears you have.
Yeah, we take all comers.
Right. Anyway, with that, goodbye.
Take care, all.